2 months and no regrets.
Hello and welcome! I am Arumba, thank you for joining me. Let's go ahead and get started with our 10,000 video AMAA. I'm going to need just a moment because I am still getting a few things into position, and I'm also trying to eat some banana cake. I strongly recommend everyone eat banana cake, it's delicious. Especially when your wife makes it and she's awesome. Which mine is, by the way. Okay. Make sure I can see Twitch chat. Make sure I can see my moderators. Think we're in a good spot. Got some resubs. Jopist. Alright, in the interest of making this YouTube friendly, we are going to be using Paradox-esque music for the majority of this stream. Yes, we could be using some other kind of stuff, but you never know. You never know if it's actually going to be received well by YouTube. So, okay, I think one last little quick check. Looks good. And just another second so I can have some banana cake. just a second, it's so good. I gotta eat it right now. Okay, I'm ready. I think we should get this going. You guys ready? It's been a while. It's been a long time since I did an AMAA, which, if you're unfamiliar, stands for Ask Me Almost Anything. That does mean that I'm not required to answer every single question, of course, but almost everything, you know, within reason.
Arumba
if there
face, Arumba clap, banana cake sounds delicious. Arumba clap, Arumba face.
I really like how Ravina sounds. Ravina is the name of our audio text to chat, text to voice lady. She's awesome. MBFO2 and number 1 and J Benish. Thank you all for being subscribers and stuff. I didn't get to eat all the banana cake, but we're gonna get going anyway. Let's go ahead and transition. Ready? Here I am. It's a blank screen. You can't see me. Ha ha ha. Just kidding. All right, so this is much more zoomed in than before, and also I'm hoping that the lighting is still good. We'll see. Also, I shaved today, which is weird because I look a little bit different than I normally do, because I normally don't actually shave before streaming. I actually usually have like a circle beard. So, let's go ahead then and go ahead and turn on the webcam. Hello. So yeah, I mean, I still have facial hair. It's just when I say shave, I don't really mean I use like a razor. I used a you know, one of those like Norelco type things. It's like a beard and mustache trimmer type thing. So, okay, Oh my god, he is human. Yes, I am, of course. No, it's the actor. It's just the actor. The real Arumba is too busy playing games to actually show up. This is a paid actor. Arumba is recorded in advance, and this guy, I can point at myself. This guy, he's just paid copious amounts of money to try to lip sync the words that Arumba says. It's very difficult to actually nail him down. He's an impossible person. Anyway, so we got a picture from Nightbot. Oh yeah, there it is. Arumba sexy. If you're a subscriber on Twitch, you know what that is. Okay, let's why don't we just dive right in, right? Let's just do the questions, yeah? We'll start off. Let's go. Let's do this. I've got like up to maybe 3 hours slated for this. If we run out of questions, or if we get bored, or the questions all get the same or something, then maybe we'll go play some EU4, some Ryukyu, because I wouldn't mind doing that. It's still open. Yes, it's still open. It's been open all day. We played for 6.5 hours earlier. I never closed the program. I just sat there and I looked at it. Well, I had to go feed the kids and help them with homework and put them in bed and all that kind of stuff, but I looked at the game quite a bit. It was great. So, all right, first question. You see it up here. I think. Yeah, here we go. I didn't mess up. Woo! It's working. Cool. So, which stack wipe did you enjoy more, Quill or Filthy? Okay, quick summary of these stack wipes. The Quill stack wipe happened in a multiplayer session between Quill 18, Northern Lion, Mathis, and I think it might have been either Art of War or something like that. It was a long time ago, at least a year or two ago at this point. And I stack wiped Quill because it was not, we were not playing like a friendly game. We were playing and we weren't really like strictly all allied or something. And basically Quill and Northern Lion had cut the HRE in half, and they were trying to make it all theirs, and then they were bullying Mathis up in the corner into Brandenburg. He chose Brandenburg, who actually later on inherited France, which is kind of funny. But I attacked Quill. I attacked Quill because he was overextended. He was weak. I thought I could beat him. I had a feeling I could beat him. The numbers were in my favor, and he like an AI had mothballed some border forts or something like that. You know, like it was one of those things where it was like there was an opportunity, a golden opportunity to attack him. So, just so I'm not always looking over to the right, I'm going to move Twitch chat to a different monitor than I normally have it. All right, so yeah. So I attacked him, and he got really, really mad because he thought he should win. He threw like... This is a while ago. The game has changed quite a bit. But I attacked him. I think I had like 15k troops. And I had a 1-5 or a 2-5 or something. I had a huge shock value advantage behind a river in the woods. And he attacked me with like a 5-0 or a 5-1. So he had a huge fire advantage. And he threw like twice as many troops at mine as I had. And he thought he should win. And he got really, really mad. And he didn't. He didn't win. He didn't win because it was very, very early in the game when fire value is practically useless. And he didn't factor in that he was exceeding the combat width. So his troops were losing morale every single day, even though he didn't... even though they weren't in combat, you lose 0.01 morale per regiment per day, every single day. So they couldn't fight, but they were losing morale. And then when they finally got to be able to fight, they were out of morale. And anyway, my meat shield of infantry in defensive terrain ground down his troops with better shock. And we beat him. And then he retreated one province over because of the location that we were fighting, and I stack wiped him. Just boom, his entire army. And then like 2 days later, he surrendered. He just took a surrender. I'm done. And he was so mad. And somebody made a really, really funny video about it too. You know that the Hitler video, not to bring up Hitler here idly, but there's a video of like a movie about Hitler where he gets like really mad because he gets news from Stalin or something. Oh god, you got to watch it. Someone, one of the mods, if you don't mind, link it in the chat. It's hilarious. Take your time. I would recommend that you bookmark it or something and watch it later. It's absolutely hilarious. So that's that one. The other one just recently happened with Filthy Robot. With Filthy Robot, I did it by mistake. We're playing as friends, coincidentally, also in the HRE. And I swear to God, I swear on my mother's grave, it was not on purpose. It really was not. He was fighting rebels. I had lent out my troops as condottieri to one of his enemies because why not? I wanted some money. And I said, I'm just going to rent my troops to this guy. I'm not going to help him or anything, but I'm going to take all his money. And he was like, okay. And so then he gets rebels, and I react. I'm just like, oh, Filthy's got rebels, and he's fighting him, so I'm going to help him. I'm going to go help him. And so I moved to help him with my condottieri. And as they got there, I realized that their armies were red, my armies was red, and we're not friends. And we get there, and instead of helping him by fighting the rebels, my army just stands as the third army, just like stands there, like waiting for the victor, like, who do we get to murder? And Filthy beat the rebels, and then immediately proceeded to get stack wiped by my army. And they were both really, really funny. Both really funny. I have to say, to answer the question though, because I can't spend more than like a couple minutes on each question, otherwise we'll just never get anywhere, right? But I would say I enjoyed the Quill one a little bit more. I thought that the Filthy one was just hilarious, really, really good. But with Quill, it was intentional. I wanted to murder him, and that way, and in that way, it was better, I think. I see that William has been modifying the responses a little bit. The next question is William the best mod ever? Let's just say, William.
You are using the spreadsheet that auto-updates, right? Arumba IDK.
The one... Yeah. Yep. Although, if there's new ones from live chat, you should put them in the AMA questions one, because I'm not actually going to be probably getting to the end of the list. So actually, like, if you're live right now watching this on Twitch, and you want to get a question into the mix, the best way to do it's probably not going to be to submit questions using the AMA link anymore, because those are going to end up at the bottom, and they're not shuffled. So you should just, try to get the attention of a mod, post good questions. They're going to parse the questions, and if they're questions we haven't covered yet, and they are, well-written, decent questions that make sense for me to talk about, then they'll pass them to me. So somehow, okay? Okay, so is William the best mod ever? Let's just say William is the best mod. I do think William is an amazing moderator, and he has really been an amazing help. He just stepped up. When I made the transition from streaming on Sundays to during the week, Hendrik NL, who is, I don't know if he's in chat right now, but he is still very, very much involved with the channel. Great moderator as well, but he lives in Europe, so he couldn't really do much of the streaming in the American time zones. So somebody had to step up, and it was William, and he's been amazing. So yeah, absolutely, by all means, William is a very, very good mod. Is he the best mod ever? He's really good. Is that a good enough non-answer? He's really good. I'm really happy to have him. I don't want to say he's the best I don't want to risk offending any of the other moderators, and also he's very good for right now. Who knows? Someone else in the future could be better. It's hard to say. You really can't. Is that a politician's answer? Next question. How do you do your hair? You having a giggle, mate? You having some fun? How do I do my hair? Well, it's actually a little bit too long right now. It's a little bit long. I've got a little bit of a Friar Tuck thing going on right now. It's time for me to shave again. How do I do my hair? I shave my head. I don't shave it, because my wife doesn't like the Q-tip, the cue ball look. Like I'm the white cue ball of a billiards board or something like that. Billiards game. So I just use like an electric razor thing, and I just shave it as close as I can get it, but not actually shave it. So yeah, ha, Rumba's bald. Yeah, you got me. Good job. All right, next question. When are you going to show your real face? You're right. See, I always think I need to like point somewhere else. This guy is just a paid actor. This isn't the real Arumba. The real Arumba is going to be revealed in the year 2057, when his master plan is complete and he's ready to take over the world using spreadsheets. So that'll be when it happens, okay? Next question. Unfortunately, it's getting clipped a little bit. Let me see if I can fix that. Very few of them are going to be clipped that way. 1 second. Which make the font like a little... I don't really want to make it that much smaller, though. You know what? It's close. It's close enough. You can see a little bit of a white thing on the right now. I don't like that. Darn it! It's not perfect. Now I need to OCD about it or something. Okay, so the question was... You've played a lot of games by now. Have you ever thought about learning game design? I mean... I do see you review design flaws here and there. Spreadsheets! Yes, I'm using Excel to display and ask these questions. I see you review design flaws here and there as I watch you play games, so certainly that is not beyond your reach, is it? Someday, I actually recently had decided that I want to try to learn how to do coding again. I took in college, I took engineering classes, and I took C++ coding, and I did that for a couple years, and I really enjoyed coding. It's one of the reasons why I think that I can parse the mods that Paradox puts out, because they're written in some basic code. Very simple code, but it's code nonetheless.
All hail Arumba spreadsheets.
Thanks, Doc Spider and Elect Ninja. So yeah, I want to learn how to do Python soon, and I don't know, who knows? Someday, maybe I'll decide to take all of my YouTube ducats and make a game company or something, or make a game. Let's just say a game, not a company, because I wouldn't know how to. Yeah, I don't know, but you surround yourself enough with. If you surround yourself with enough good people, then good things can happen. And I am by no means an expert at anything really in particular, or even many things, but there are a lot of really, really good, smart people out there, and hopefully, over time, I'll be able to draw them toward me, and maybe we can put something cool together in the future. We'll see. Next, why don't we mix it up here? Why don't we get a question from the viewers? Next question from the viewers would be, what is your middle name? For security, I actually am going to skip that question, and I just want to explain why. I am I try to be incredibly careful about my personal identity, which, it does get out. It does. People have found it. I'm not saying, hey, go look for it. Please don't. But it does happen. But unlike a lot of other YouTubers, I have 3 children. And even though 99.999% of the people that I am exposing myself to... that sounds funny. Even though most of the people who watch my content are very, very, very good people, you just never know. And you've got to be cautious with children. You're always careful with children. That's just how you are. So anything that could potentially identify me on a personal basis is not a question that fits inside the AMAA. How old are your kids? That I can answer. What is their blood type? What is their height? What is their weight? Where do they live? No. Those aren't the questions. How old are they? They are 10, 7... No, that's not true. She's almost 7. 10, 6, and 3. I can tell you that much. It reminds me... Yeah, what it reminds me of... Exactly, Calvin. Calvin says, what's your social security number? No, it reminds me of the Arnold Schwarzenegger quote from, like, Kindergarten Cop or something. I need to know your height, your weight, whether you are susceptible to any diseases. Like, just whatever, you know. What are you looking forward to most in Monks and Mystics? Do you have a campaign in mind? Now, you gotta refresh my memory here. I'm pretty sure Monks and Mystics is the CK2 DLC, right? I read every Dev Diaries, they come out every week, but I don't really actually have the names of the expansions internalized yet. So if it's CK2, then I'm looking forward to the... I hope that Paradox doesn't hate me for this. I'm most looking forward to the interface improvements. All the other crap I don't care about that much. I am super, super, super excited about the prisoner management and like the programmable buttons and stuff to like save things, save like recent search histories and stuff like that. That's all I care about. It's so much better. It's going to be the most important feature in the entire patch, I promise you. For me, at least. Okay, when are you going to teach Filthy CK2? Maybe sometime. He and I have we have one more EU4 campaign that we want to do before we like start mixing it up a little bit more. All right, so our first campaign with Filthy Robot was a tutorial series where I tried to teach him how to play E4 live, and we used that as like a template to help maybe teach other players how to play as well. The second campaign was, kid gloves. I'm going to be nice to him, and we're not going to attack each other. We're going to be friends, and we're just going to play separate countries. But we're still. I promised him, I'm never going to attack you. I'm on your side. I swear. I'm not going to backstab you. And I mean that when I say those things. So, the third campaign we have planned is going to be different, where there are no rules. He loves. Yes, it is a new chair. Hi, Morgan. Hi, Morar. There's way too many vowels in your name. Hi, Moraraskane. Close? I don't know. Something like that. It is a new chair. I built it last night. It's brown. It might not look brown, but it is brown. Brand new. So yeah, the third campaign's going to be no kid gloves, and we might be friends, we might not be friends. He's a big fan of competitive multiplayer in Civilization, so I know that he wants to see what it's like to play competitive multiplayer, like versus other people. But if we do that, we might do it in a multiplayer context where we have more than just us two. So we'll see. It might be more of a streamed type thing. I'm finding lately that I'm really enjoying streaming E4. Ryukyu. It was like 20 hours of Ryukyu streams in the last 2 weeks, if you want to go check those out. So this is my pure vodka, by the way, to keep me in the mood. Actually, it's just water, but yeah. All right, next question. Next question is, what is the content you most enjoy making? That is actually kind of a tough question for me. I most enjoy learning new games and learning mechanics, and I love that aha moment where I figure something out and I think I get it, and I think I know how things are going to work, and then I test the theory, right? So I get to the point where I can say, I expect if I do this, then this will happen, and I try it, I test it, and when I confirm that the way I expect it to work is the way that it really does work, that's a really, really cool moment for me. Because it's amazing. The reason why this is a difficult question for me to answer is that, unfortunately, usually when those types of aha moments are happening, I'm learning games that I'm not good at. They're new. They're things that I have no idea how to do. And I will admit that it's very difficult for me as a person who puts themselves out there in front of other people and just says, hey, watch me, critique me. It's very... You have to have a thick skin to be able to even read the comment section on a YouTube video. Especially, if you made the video, that is. But I love those moments. I really enjoy learning new games, but it's very difficult to record that and not worry about what people are going to say when you are making mistakes. So, yeah. Next question. If you have 6 black socks, 4 blue socks, 8 brown socks, and 2 red socks in your drawer, what is the minimum number of socks that you need to pull out in the dark to make sure you have a matching pair? The minimum number of socks that you need to pull out in the dark. Well, the red socks has got 2. Obviously, the number has to be... We have... What a weird question. This is great. We need to spend the next hour on this question. 1 sock is obviously insufficient because it doesn't make a pair. 2 could could work. What is the question? The specific question is, what is the minimum number of socks you need to pull out in order to be sure you have a matching pair? So if I pull out 2, I could have a matching pair, but I could not. If I pull out 3, I still could. Can I guarantee it? I would say it would have to be the number of variables, which in this case is 4, and then it would have to exceed the number of red socks by at least 1. Right? Well, even then, you could theoretically just draw 8 socks. Wait, but if you draw 8 socks, then you got 2 brown ones. Or if I drew out 4 socks, I could, worst case scenario, end up with 1 black, 1 blue, 1 brown, 1 red. So the number has to be 5. If I draw out 5, then no matter what, I will have at least a pair. 5. Answer's 5. Okay, next question. Weird. Will you / do you want to play Dota this year? I was mildly interested about with Dota when it came to the that patch, the 7.0 or whatever it was. It almost caught my attention, but these days I'm very, very careful with my time when it comes to Dota. Dota's one of those games where if I start playing it, I'll just play one. Then I end up playing 5 games, and I realize that I've just spent 5 hours playing Dota, and I recorded none of it. Or worst case scenario, worst case scenario is I played 5 hours and I recorded none. Best case scenario is I recorded 5 hours and I kept maybe 1 or 2 videos because they were not trash games that got broken by quitters or griefers or whatever, stuff like that. So the opportunity cost, the way that I spend my time needs to be efficient. And if I spend my time on things like Dota, either I don't record it at all and it's just a waste of time. It's enjoyable, I like it, but it's not good for my business. Or even if I were 100% efficient in every single minute that I spent recording Dota, I ended up recording and using in some way, people don't really want to watch it that much. There's a very vocal group of people on YouTube who want to see it on my channel, but it's not the lion's share of people, so it's not a good idea for me to cater to that specific demand. I have to play the games that people are most likely to watch. Otherwise, the wife gets mad because the mortgage doesn't get paid. It's kind of a big deal. All right, let's take another one from Twitch chat. Do you regret having revealed your face?
Form silly. Check the mod room in Discord. Arumba bug.
What are you talking about? This is the one that was pinned. Okay, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You gotta... Alright, I'll check it. I'll find it. Why is there a form in the first place? Anyway, okay. We'll take them from live then. Do you regret having revealed your face at that time? Are you comfortable with it now? Yeah. The more I stream, the more time I spend streaming, the more willing I am to just do the face cam. Or excuse me, to have the paid actor lip sync for me. To make it appear as if I am live. Yeah. I also sent that paid actor to Paradox Con to trick them into thinking that I'm Arumba, that this guy is Arumba. But no, I don't regret it. At the time, I was a little bit nervous, but no, these days I'm pretty comfortable with it. In fact, I think it's a lot more fun. It's a lot more fun to stream with a face cam because people can see your face, they can see your reaction. And lately we've been actually trying to transition out of using static images for the emotes on the channel, on the Twitch channel, and using like faces that I've made, and it's fun, it's funny, so I enjoy it. By the way, something that I want to show you guys before I forget, because I probably will. I just thought this was really cool. Just today, I got in the mail some stuff from the fellas over at Firaxis. Back in June. Sorry about the shine. Can you see that? There we go. Kind of without the shine, maybe without the glare. There it is. Right there's the spot. Back in like it might have been July, August, or September, somewhere back there in the summer. They invited me up to New York to play Civilization 6, and now like what? It's February, so like 6 months later, out of nowhere, they sent me a bunch of stuff, and I thought it was kind of coincidental and cool. There's like a compass. I don't understand when I would need this compass. I have a compass. That's cool. I don't know how to use it. I don't know how to use a compass. I've never been lost in the woods, so that's good. There was no note or anything. There's just like a box. It was just like, here's a box, here's some stuff. And they gave me a sextant, because, you know, everyone needs a sextant these days. If you don't have a sextant, then how are you going to navigate the high seas? So this will just go on the wall somewhere. And then they gave me like a keychain, and then they also gave me a nice leather bag. So that's cool. Yeah, I just wanted to mention it. Yeah, I'm assuming that everyone they invited to the event, they sent the stuff to. I just think it's kind of coincidental or weird that they sent it and it came today, of all days. Like, why 6 months later? You know? They gave us a bunch of stuff when we were there. Why did they give us stuff now? All right, let me very briefly hop into the moderator chat room, and William is probably going to link right this moment to the proper form, right, William? Totally, he's totally going to. You want me to use the live one, but if I use the live one, I've got to update it, and it's all colored and stuff. I don't want it to be colored. I like the white and the black. Doesn't it look nice? This thing looks nice. What's wrong with this one, William? William. I'm going to go back to that question where he asked if he was the best mod ever. I'm going to change my answer. Just kidding.
Will you ever do a large video on how to completely use Microsoft Excel? I have seen you do things in it I have never seen before or ever thought possible.
Arter Rose. I sure hope she... Okay. Arter Rose just found a way to completely usurp control of the system. No more filtering of questions, apparently. All you have to do is do what he did, and there's your question. Because Ravina just gets to speak. She talks right over me. Will you ever do a large video on how to use Microsoft Excel? I mean, we've had some really, really big popular Excel streams where I've streamed for like 6 hours and we just make stuff with Excel. So yeah, we do that. I mean, I mean, a tutorial, if you want a tutorial, there's one guy that I would suggest you go listen to, and that is, let me look him up real quick. It was, Excel, I don't know, if you just search for like Excel YouTube, there's one, he's probably the best channel. I don't remember the name of his channel now. Darn. But there's this one, it's like Excel campus or like university or like something related to school. There's this guy, it's like a tutorial dude. Excel campus, that's it. Excel campus. Got 43,000 subs.
Hello.
Let's let me see if I can show this off. I think this is him. I don't know. Just there's channels that do that specifically. Let's leave it at that. I do stuff that's fun, but no, I'm not gonna probably make tutorials about Excel. It's not really my genre. So the colors are for the different type of questions, and also we have filtered out the questions. Oh, so the one that I'm using is not filtered. Oh. Well, no wonder there was the one about William being the best mod ever. Okay. All right. Quick little transition then. Let's go back to this one for a second, and I will see if I can sub this thing in. All right. Can I change the zoom? I can maybe make this work. One second. William. This is where I get to blame William, right? All right. If we're to make this work, I need to change the size of these so they're a little bit bigger. And we need to change. Now watch, everyone's going to be like wanting to see this part because this is like Excel, sort of. Except not really, because it's a Google Sheet. Which, by the way, Google Sheets suck. They suck. Google, I love Google, okay? I'm a huge fan of Google. But they keep trying to take over all the things. And they're not going to beat Microsoft when it comes to Excel and formulas and stuff. How on earth? How on earth can I make this thing? I'm not getting it. It's being so annoying right now. There we go. Okay, we're almost there. The window was too big, and this whole thing needs to be centered, word wrap, centered. All right, almost there, I swear. Blame William. Like, literally, you can blame William if you want. That'd be good. Everyone quickly blame him. His fault. No, this still needs to be smaller. It needs to be about, like, that big. That one over there. Okay. Almost. We're almost there. I had it all set up, and he's like, it's the wrong form. You gotta use different form. He's right. He's right. It's just, I don't like that it's not ready, you know? Look at this guy. Look at this streamer guy. Not even being ready. Ugh. I agree. I agree completely. Can I touch your hair? No. I don't have any hair. You know this. You know this to be true. I am in the final home stretch. I think. Okay, back to the other thing. There we go! Kind of. It's almost perfect. There's a little line at the top, and it doesn't quite... Yeah, it's not quite perfect. Clearly it needs to be fixed more. Must be made better. William, it's all your fault. Hashtag blame William. Okay, so we're done with that question. So, okay. If we're to use this, then... Damn it, why did it zoom over there? It looked so much better before. Okay, we're gonna have to go with this. We just have to move on. I want it to look nice, but I can't make it look nice. It's not possible. William ruined it all. I blame William. Everyone ask William questions quickly. So if we're gonna use this one though, then it needs to basically be just delete the questions if they're not questions that you think should be in there. And if they get clipped or cut off a little bit, we're gonna have to just move on. Okay, moving on. What are you planning for the future? I mentioned in the first the first agenda.
What the hell? Am I made of money? Kappa pride.
35 months. That is a very long time. By the way, Zippy, you also have the subscriber badge for having been subscribed for more than 2 years. There's also going to be a one for the 4-year soon. So that's cool. You can see those live in the Twitch chat right now. So what are your plans for the future? Right now, got to pay taxes soon. I mean, they've already been paid, but I got to file for taxes. Got to do business return. Got to do personal return. I got to do that whole thing where I, like, open up the kids' college funds and fund them appropriately and all that nonsense. Got to do all that. Got to do some calculations for that. Eventually, I'll probably die. That's part of my plans. Distant plans, mind you. I don't want to die. I don't want to die anytime soon. Preferably never. If I could die never, that'd be better. Eventually, I would like to get some bionic eyes. See, I personally feel I'm like a character in Rimworld. I'm not a prostolo, whatever they call them, where like I have to have one. Like I feel incomplete. I don't have that issue. But it's more of a that would be nice. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. So basically, like my eyes. Here's a quick story, quick history of my eyes. I had perfect vision when I was a kid, but then when I hit puberty, like age 7, because that's when it happened. No, it's not true. Everyone knows that Roombas mature very quickly, right? No. When I hit puberty, though, my eyes changed like most kids. When you grow, it just affects you. So my eyes started to get bad, and then I had bad vision. And I had bad vision all through high school. When I was 21 or 22, and my eyes stopped growing, because that's apparently, like, you obviously puberty stops usually before that, but your eyes can still change up to about 21, 22. At least that's what they said back when I got the surgery. So if you wanted to get LASIK surgery, they would always tell you to wait until you're 22 or 23. So I turned 22 and I went and got LASIK. And then I had perfect vision. I had 20/15 vision for about 8 years. And then my vision got bad again. And now I have to wear glasses or contacts. I don't have any contacts, so I just wear glasses. I don't need glasses for what I'm doing right now, but just in case you're curious, let me make sure that they're at least a little bit clean so they don't look horrible. This is what I would look like if I were not in front of the webcam. One second. Mm-hmm. And now you know why I always joke around about how I am such a dork. Because I am a freaking nerd. I am. I am a nerd. I got the glasses to prove it. However, I will say that I am definitely planning on I'm actually gonna go. I do look very similar to online, and it's remarkable how similar we look in some ways. We're both bald. We're both white. We're both, shiny heads with glasses, and we sound different. But yeah. Anyway, I'm actually looking into getting LASIK done again. It would still probably cost a couple grand or something to get it decently done. Yeah, for reference, by the way, I didn't always look like this. Just look at the Arumba sexy picture. There's a link in the damn chat. Go look at that. I used to have hair and everything. I used to have beautiful hair. Long and flowing. Oh, those were the days. So yeah, but I want to get LASIK again. I'm young enough that I think I could still benefit from it. LASIK doesn't fix everything, right? Like, your eyes will still get worse as you get older. When you get into your 40s and your 50s and your 60s, like, your eyes are going to fail. There's nothing you can really do about it. Eventually, you need to either get bifocals, trifocals, or just accept that you're going to need to use reading glasses. Like, everyone's vision fails. And the reason for that is just that your eyes they're organic. They are like knees or hips. They fail. They are not designed. You realize that the reason why so many people need hip and knee surgery is because humans are not designed to live as long as we live right now. Our bodies are amazingly well evolved to survive up until and including slightly after the breeding period. We're fantastic at making it to about 30 or 40, because that's about the time it takes to be raised, make babies of your own, and raise them. After that, everything goes to hell. Everything falls apart. Your eyes, your knees, your hips, your skin, everything, your teeth. Your whole body just starts to betray you because it doesn't matter. Because there's no selective evolutionary pressure against people that have bad genes that manifest in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. Because they've already bred. They've already made babies. There's no selective pressure. So anyway, there's a really interesting article you can find online that talks about like what humans would look like if we were designed to live to 80 or 100, I think it might actually be the article. But our knees would be backwards, and we would have teeth like sharks, where we would grow new ones and replace them over time, that kind of stuff. Did William just make this one gray because he wants me to get off it? Change the background to gray? Anyway. Anyway, long story short, what are you planning for the future? That's how we got on this topic. Someday, I would like to have bionic eyes, because my eyes sort of suck, and I would do it. If they said, Arumba, you can get this surgery, and there's about a 50-50 chance that you're going to have really, really amazing vision, and it'll be better than human vision, and you'll have the ability to record things, and take pictures, and zoom in, and play it back in your mind, kind of like that freaky as hell episode of Black Mirror on Netflix, where they all have that little grain of rice implanted in their ear or whatever, or their neck, and they can replay stuff in their eyes. Oh, that's so totally going to happen someday. It probably already is. They're going to do it. Anything and everything that happens in a movie or TV show, I swear it'll happen someday. You realize that, like, automatic doors happened because it was in Star Trek? I'm serious. Star Trek was like, wouldn't it be cool if we had these doors that just open automatically? And then some nerds, some engineers were like, I think we could do that using like, what do they even use? How do automatic doors work? Infrared, I think. Isn't it infrared? That's the sensor to detect when something is moving in front of a door. Anyway. Yeah, I'm still waiting for some of that Jetson stuff. I know, you're right. That's true. Not everything is here yet, but it's coming. So yeah, long story short, the actual answer to my question is a lot of different things, but I would like some bionic eyes. I think they'd be pretty sweet. Even if there was like a chance that they might not go well, I would totally just take the risk because my eyes sort of suck anyway, so why not, you know? We got cochlear implants, so people who have never heard a single sound in their entire life can now hear. They're gonna come up with some really cool stuff for blind people. I'm really looking forward to the future when it comes to that. All right, next question. If you could make any of your ideas become a real game, what would that be? Genre, theme, mechanics, etc. That's a really tough question. I mean, I play so many history simulators that I kind of like something very similar to that. Just, I don't know. If I could change anything at all, I mean, I'm gonna rephrase your question slightly because I'm not really in a position to make my own game, right? Let's just say if I had complete control for a day over, like, you know, the Paradox dev team or something, and I could just make them do what I want. I would ask them to focus maybe a little bit more on evolutionary development would be a way to phrase it, I think. An example of that would be like the Dota-esque style of patching. You know, I wish they would do that. I wish that they would take a look at some of their metrics and say, you know what, espionage ideas is really complete trash. It's just always trash. Always. We need to make it better. And just make it better. Not like in 4 months with the next major DLC, but like tomorrow. Like patch it right now. And then like take a week or two of data and see how people react to it. How big of an uptick do you get in people taking espionage ideas in their Iron Man games? How does that change affect things? And you'll never get it perfect. But that's the whole point. The Dota-esque style, or the evolutionary style of patching, is you take the things that are too good, you make them a little bit worse. You take the things that are bad, and you make them a little bit better. Just a little bit. Not a huge amount, just a little bit. You want to know how you make Dota? You want to know how in the game of Dota you make somebody pick a hero that's not being picked at all? You pick some random number, and you just make that stupid skill like that little itty bit better. All of a sudden, Necromancer or, you know, Necrophos, his aura is now it's buffed. It's got 0.25% more health per second at level 1. Ooh. And all of a sudden there's a massive uptick in the number of people who pick that hero. Right? Same exact thing could be said for underrepresented nations in EU4 or underrepresented nations in Crusader Kings 2 or whatever. Same thing could apply, not just to EU4, but like CK2. You could say, you know, which one of the lifestyle focuses do people never take? Okay, let's make that one a little bit better, and let's make the one that they always take a little bit worse. Not because you want to take away the fun, but because that's a great way to balance games. It needs to evolve over time. It cannot be static. I have hated sailors since they came out. I have hated espionage ideas every single time I've ever taken them. Anyway, so if I could make any of my ideas become a real game, I guess I would just ask that they maybe try that, just to see what would happen. You know, it'd be cool. Okay, your favorite games you played as a kid. Okay, as a kid, like how young are we talking here? If we're talking like sub 10 years old, then I played like Warcraft 1. I played Warcraft, Orcs and Humans. I played Sim Farm, Sim Ant. I played Sim Tower. I really liked Sim Tower. That was a fun game. I have fond memories of that game. Curse you, EA. Curse you! Ruining Maxis. Maxis was a great company. Really enjoyed those games. If we're talking about older than 10, I played for a very, very prolonged period of time. I spent a huge amount of time playing Warcraft 3. Obviously, I played Warcraft 2. But I moved pretty heavily into StarCraft after Warcraft 2. StarCraft and then Warcraft 3. And then I had a big period of time where I played World of Warcraft. A lot of Blizzard games. I absolutely loved Blizzard. I actually loved... Did you know... You can look this up. This is true. I'm not making this up. Blizzard Entertainment, the original developers, the original people who became Blizzard Entertainment, before they were Blizzard Entertainment, worked for a company called Silicon Synapse. And they made video games. Actual console games, not computer games. Some of them, not all of them, but some of the original development team for Blizzard Entertainment were part of a company called Silicon Synapse, and they made a game called Rock and Roll Racing on the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, which is still, to this day, I think, one of the best Super Nintendo Entertainment System games ever made. Right up there with Super Metroid and, Mario and whatever. But man, almost every game Blizzard Entertainment ever made was amazing. I was really, really disappointed. Same thing with Maxis. I was really disappointed when Blizzard got bought out by Activision. Such is life. Such is life. Just wait. One day, if I ever hear the day, I'll admit, I was really concerned when I heard that Paradox was going public. Because that means that a big company might buy all the shares and all of a sudden Fred Wester is no longer the guy calling the shots. But turns out that wasn't really, doomsday or anything. He still owns the majority, and I guess there's only like two real investors that own the company or something, but they are technically a publicly traded company now. But please, 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 please don't sell out. Don't sell to EA. Don't do it. Yeah, they didn't get bought out. They merged, but the company's never been the same. Company's never been the same. It's not. Here's how you know why. Diablo 2 is amazing. Diablo 3 was this absolute mess of wrongness. They everything that was great about Diablo 2 didn't make it in Diablo 3. They wanted to make a real life auction house. They wanted to make it so that they could make a cut on people buying bits and bytes in video games, like the World of Warcraft auction house. They were just gonna take like a 3% real money cut out of people buying shit in Dota. In Diablo 3. It was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Who on earth thought that was a good idea? I'll tell you who it was. It wasn't anyone that used to work at Blizzard. It was people who used to work at Activision. No. When Activision and Blizzard merged, it was a horrible day in gaming. Diablo 2 is still I still think Diablo 2 is better than Diablo 3 as a game, honestly. Even though the graphics are dated and you couldn't play it now. The interface is god-awful and the graphics are horrible, and I think the game runs in like 600 by 500. It's so bad. Yeah, but if you're looking for the spiritual successor to Diablo 2, that would be Path of Exile, most likely. But anyway, I seriously, I will be very, very sad someday if Paradox ever gets bought out by some big company and everything changes. Because right now they've got something special. They really do. I've met, not everyone, of course, because their team is well over 150 people now. I think it's approaching 200 people that work for the company. But I've been to a few of their events, and another example, by the way, before I forget, is that, like, another example of Blizzard and Activision and how that merger hurt them is look at all the patches for World of Warcraft, the expansions, and how good they were in the beginning and how trash they were toward the end. There's a reason why the quality went down. Anyway, so I went back to that because I wanted to not forget. Now I forgot the thing I was about to say, which was, what was I about to say? Someone quick, tell me, what was I about to say? I was talking about Paradox. Yes, I've met a lot of the people that work there, a number of the people, some of the top developers for the company, and like the project leads for their games. He's made it red. He wants me to get off the game. He's get off. Stop answering. Too many minutes on this question. You're right. I should move on. I'm sorry, William. You put yourself in a position to be the antagonist, so I have to be antagonized. So, I just want to finish my last thought. Paradox has a very, very amazing group of people that work there right now, and I just hope that sense of community and team that they have right now never changes. I hope that doesn't go away, because I think it's honestly probably the best thing about their company. And if you've ever been to one of their events, which coming up, I think very, very soon, even I can't go this year because of scheduling, but they have an upcoming Paradox Con that is open to the public. You have to buy a ticket, but anyone can go. So if you're in Europe, you should go. You should go. It's in I think it's in Stockholm. I'm not sure. But if you could just see the way they interact, they're good people. I hope that it stays that way. Okay, moving on. Let's take a question from chat. Next chat question is: do your kids know about your videos? If not, do you fear that they will one day stumble upon them? It's an interesting question. They do, kind of. My eldest, Nicholas, he does know. Alright, I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say it with all intended fondness. Okay? All intended fondness. That kid's he's a clever little shit. You can't. Okay, kids are smart. You gotta just know your kids are smart. Okay, they cannot. You cannot pull the wool over their eyes. No matter how hard you try, they will someday learn that Santa's not real. They will someday learn that the Easter Bunny doesn't poop chocolate in your room or in the house. Why on earth Easter Bunny's associated with Easter? I don't understand that at all. But some reason they had to find some. We need to sell chocolate. We need to sell something. I know, a bunny. Yeah, sure. Why not? But that's aside from the point. So Nicholas, he's 10. And he watches a couple YouTubers that I've screened that I think are appropriate for him at his age. Because there's a period in time where he's like, my uncle let me play Grand Theft Auto 5 when I was in Colombia. So can I play that now? Can I watch videos about Grand Theft Auto 5? No. What? You played Grand Theft Auto 5? You kidding? No, bad uncle. Pow pow. You got in a lot of trouble for that. You do not let a 10-year-old play Grand Theft Auto 5. There's a reason why it's rated AMAA. It is not for kids. Anyone that has children that is buying these games, hey, it's the Paradox Christmas music. That's weird. You do not give mature adult rated titles to children. At all. So anyway, he wanted to watch Grand Theft Auto on YouTube, and I had to tell him no, and he got really mad, and so then I had to find some people who played games that were actually appropriate. But anyway, you can't pull the wool over his eyes forever. He knows I'm a YouTuber. I'm a guy that does stuff on the internet. He doesn't, as far as I know, he doesn't watch my videos. He's a more of a first-person shooter kind of player. He likes things like Just Cause, which I think is an appropriate game for him. Yeah, sure, there's some combat and guns and stuff, but the language is pretty good, and they don't show a lot of blood and that kind of stuff. He likes to fly around, use a little thing like that, and he likes to play that kind of game. He's not into strategy games at all. So, but yeah, he knows, and he just asked me 2 weeks ago. He's like, "Daddy, I want to make this weekend. Can I make a YouTube channel?" I was, oh God, what am I gonna do? Shit, what am I gonna do? Because how can I say no? I mean, I gotta say no. I have to say no. He's too young. He is. But he isn't. But he is. But he isn't. I don't know. It's impossible to decide. He's too young. Okay, I'll just present the arguments. Number one, he's too young because he can't be trusted to actually keep his personal confidential information confidential. As hard as I work to keep ourselves anonymous as much as possible, I still fail. So imagine a child doing it. There's just no way. There's no way. So that's number one, big huge red security risk, right? Number two, I don't want to break his heart because no one's gonna watch him. Not because he's not a really cool kid or he's not interesting, but he's a child. He's a child playing video games. Nobody watches. Nobody wants to listen to a 10-year-old play video games. It sounds horrible. God, I'm just reminded of every time I've ever seen a video on Reddit of some kid, there's some guy playing, I don't know, Counter-Strike, and there's some child on a mic, on a headset. And they sound like children. They sound horrible, and everyone just laughs at them because they're children and they should not be talking. Oh God, come on. You know I'm not wrong about this. Okay, so let's paint a picture here. I could say, all right, here's my son's channel. Hey guys, go check him out. Right? I could try to plug his channel. And some of my viewers might go over there and check him out. And he would get some sympathy subscribers. But nobody's gonna watch him. Not really, not for a long period of time. Because he plays FPS and I play Grand Strategy, and it's just not gonna happen. So I couldn't help him in any way, and if I don't help him in some way, no one's ever gonna find him. I know how difficult it is to start a YouTube channel. I've done it. He's not gonna make the next big Minecraft channel, and I'm not trying to be a downer. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm concerned for my son's mental well-being. You know? I don't want him to be hurt. Because it would be a very painful experience to put himself out there and hope and think that he's going to be like, let's see, who's the big guy, the big channel that he watches? He likes Dan TDM. You know what it is? It's just the same thing as every kid. They all think that that they can just record some videos just like their favorite YouTuber and they can do the exact same thing. Because they don't have any life experience. They're children. They don't have the life experience to paint realistic expectations and actually set realistic goals. And yes, on the one hand, I want him to succeed and I want to give him every opportunity I possibly can, but I don't see how it's a good idea. I feel like it would be I want to give him the ability to struggle. And I mean that in a good way. You have to give your family, you have to give your children the right to struggle. They have to, you got to put them out there so that they can actually learn and earn their way through life on their own. But at the same time, you don't need to expose them to unnecessary pain. That's just cruelty, in my opinion. To me, before he should try diving into something like YouTube, he should go work at as a dishwasher at a restaurant like I did when I was a kid and learn what it means to smell like trash and be expected to work really, really early, really, really hard and carry heavy things, and still it's never good enough. And like, he needs to learn that kind of stuff first. He needs to learn how hard work. I don't know. We're getting too deep into this one, but so the question was, do your kids know what you do? One of them he knows. The other one, Isabella, she probably knows that I do YouTube, but she doesn't really understand what it means. And the youngest one has absolutely no clue because he's 3. He is excited about watching his TV shows on Netflix. That's about the height of his day right now. I get to watch Bob. I get to watch, whatever his little cartoons are. All right, so we're about an hour in. I've talked nonstop, and normally I take a break every 20 minutes when I'm recording, so I gotta drink some water here. While I'm parching myself, or unparching myself, or whatever the term will be, Twitch, what do you guys think? Am I completely off base here, or do you think that I've got some legs to stand on, or whatever the phrase would be? Steam Hater says, you learn your best lessons through struggle, but too much struggle leads to failure. Right, what that makes me think of is, when I was a kid, it was very common for parents to tell their children that they're very smart. You're very smart. You're a very smart person. You're very smart at, you're very good at math because you're smart. And that actually is a bad thing to do these days, apparently. These days, they don't want you to do that to your children. They want you to tell them, you're a very hard worker. They want you to praise the effort. Don't just tell them they are smart. Because if you tell them that they are smart, then they assume that things that they do well, it's just because they're smart. It's not because they put in any effort. They're just smart. I'm just smart. That's why I did well. No. That's not going to work when you get older. When you get older, you are smart if you worked hard. Like, you did well on that test because you studied. And you congratulate the effort of studying. And then that way they get a correct association with the right type of work, which is to put in effort towards things that are worth doing. So, I mean, yeah, you could have a natural high IQ or something, but when I was young, everyone told me I was really smart, and I'm not going to say I'm not smart. I have a above average IQ. It's like, I've taken a couple over the years. It was like 144, 145, somewhere around there. It's pretty good. But I've seen a video of a guy that has the highest IQ in the whole world, and it's like 210, and that guy, he might have a high IQ, but that guy is weird. I don't want to be like him. That dude was a weirdo. That guy was a freak, man. So, hey, congrats on your high IQ, but hey, let's go put some effort into doing our homework. You know? So anyway, I agree with you. What you're saying is that what did he say? He said something about failure and effort and words and things and good. Yes. Failure is great experience. Yeah, you need to let them fail. They have to be able to fail, but unnecessary failure. Failure without any real good reason for it is not something I think is good. So anyway, we're going to move on. I ended up continuing to talk instead of drinking water. There are a lot of people right now in Twitch chat agreeing with the laziness type argument that I just kind of brought up. I had a similar issue. I never had to study. Not ever. Ever. Teacher would teach a class. I would just vaguely, barely pay attention. I could take a test next day, get it nearly 100%, no problem, whatever. I was so bored through all of school, all of high school. Got to college, and I did the same thing. I used to skip class. I would just show up and take quizzes and tests. But all of a sudden, I couldn't get A's anymore. I could only get like B's. And then in the second and third years of college, I couldn't get anything. It was not good. I had to study. And you very quickly learn that having a high IQ does not matter. Being smart is not, it's not like you just rolled a 666 leader or something and you're all set up in your game now. You know, you have to actually still put in the effort. Okay, let's move on. Next question is, have you considered doing more D&D? I really enjoyed when you did Roll for It. And I definitely understand why you stopped, but have you thought about doing it again? Coincidentally, just yesterday, Stejo asked me if I was interested in doing some more D&D. Quite very coincidentally, but true, yes. Literally yesterday, he said... It was funny, actually. It was a really funny thing. He said, hey, dude. Within 5 seconds, I said, hey. He said, holy shit. Didn't expect an instant reply. Because we don't normally respond right away. But yeah, I was right there. I had it up on my other monitor. He said something, so I was just like, what's up? And he said, wondering if you're interested in doing some Shadowrun. So that might, yeah, maybe. Depends. Depends on the group. Depends on the DM. Depends on the scenario. I gotta say, it's gotta be good. It's gotta be something that would be an enjoyable group. I think that the synergy and the way that the group of people that are playing together interact is far more important than I originally expected. You have to have a good group of people to do a good long-standing or long-lasting D&D / pen and paper / whatever type game. So yeah. Next, have you ever seen the EU4 Dev MP? If so, what do you think of that? Depends. There are two different types that come to mind. Number one would be the multiplayer streamed things that they do sometimes. I've seen them do that recently. And then the other would be when they play on their local area connection after work. They do. They literally play. The EU4 and just in general, the Paradox developers, they have a computer room with like 30 computers in it, and after work, they'll usually hang out at work and play video games on the LAN with company paid for and provided computers that are really good, that are all on LAN, so they can play really fast. And you ever wonder why they cater so much to the multiplayer experience when it comes to balance decisions in EU4, when only like 20% or 15% of people actually play MP? Well, it's because it's all they do. They don't play single player, they play multiplayer. So, have you ever seen it? Yeah, I've seen the room they play in, I've seen some of the stuff. What do I think of it? I think it's awesome. It'd be cool if I had a room full of 30 people that wanted to play on a local area connection, but I don't, so I kind of wish they'd stop balancing the game around that. Just my personal opinion. Maybe they should cater to the 80% of people that actually don't play it that way. What is one thing you miss from before being a YouTuber? Eating out. I used to get to eat out all the time. Back before. Holy crap, we've made it an hour and 15 minutes and I haven't mentioned the insurance industry yet? That's incredible. So back when when I was in the insurance industry, I used to drive around a lot, and I was always on the road, and so we would eat out for lunch like 3-4 days a week, and I would usually I would get to eat out all the time. It was a business expense. I could deduct it. It was tax deductible, but I used to love that. I love finger food. I swear to God, if you believe in reincarnation, if you believe you might be an old soul or whatever, if I am a reincarnated person, then I must have in a previous life been like a medieval Viking or something. I must have been. Maybe not. I don't know. But I must have lived in a time where, to me, like the most amazing lunch would be day or two old bread, not like, bad bread, but like bread that wasn't used yesterday or the day before and has gotten a little bit crispy, like not crunchy, but like it's a little bit whatever. Some sort of hearty soup with like vegetables and little bits of meat in it. And I would just take that bread and dip it in the soup and just eat it. It's just amazing. I love finger food. Absolutely adore every type of food I can eat with just fingers. I mean, obviously everyone likes French fries, right? Of course, but like any kind of finger food, quesadillas and chicken fingers and chicken wings and any of that stuff, any kind of bread, any soup, I don't care. It could be, I dip my bread in the red types of soup. I'll dip my bread in the clear soups and all the soups, the white soups, clam chowder, bread, dip it in the bread. Bread goes in the soup. So good. So good. Amazing. Why can't you eat out anymore? I have an office in my house. I don't need to leave the house. I walk from my bedroom downstairs, get the kids ready for school, and I go into the office, and then I stay here for 8 hours, 9 hours. And then I go back inside. So I work from home, which means I don't really ever eat out. We can eat out with my family, but my wife doesn't like the same kind of food that I do. She wants to sit down to a nice meal. She wants an appetizer and an entree and a dessert. She's got to have her dessert. And, she's from South America, so she likes to have a different type of food than I do. She would not like to just go out to get a quesadilla. That's like, why would we waste all that time going out just to get a quesadilla? And the answer is because quesadillas are amazing. Obviously. That's why. So, next. What's your favorite meme? And why is it the insurance business? First, I think it's appropriate that we properly identify the word, the meme. Did I accidentally turn off the Streamlabs overlay? Because it's not playing anymore. Somebody subscribed 25 minutes ago, and I don't think I got the pop-up. Let me try to turn that off and back on again. The overlay. Studio. Okay. Well, hopefully I'm not missing any people if they're doing it. Right, okay, so what's your favorite meme? I think it's appropriate. It's an appropriate time to be a pedant. Is that how you say the word when it's not being used like pedantic? I just take the word pedantic and remove IC. Make it pedant. Pedantic. Pedant. A pedant. You could say like pedant. 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 P-E-D-A-N-T. So if you're going to be a pedant or a pedant or pedant, whatever the word is, a meme is such an inappropriately used word these days. A meme is a virus. It's a virus of the mind. It's a pervasive idea. It's a concept that replicates itself in the minds of humans and it spreads over time. My favorites, I don't really have a favorite meme that I could think of. The one that comes to mind as a meme the most would be that idiotic game that my friend Tony, he's not my friend anymore, was absolutely obsessed with in high school. There he is, Vitrikin. Vitriketrin. Thank you for your subscription. The game. Yeah, the goddamn game. I hate that game. You probably haven't played the game in years, but you just lost because you just thought of it. And now every single time you think of it, you've got to tell other people that you just lost. And then they lose, and then they have to tell everyone else that they lost, and then they lose, and then it just keeps on going. That's a meme. It's a virus of the mind. Okay? That's a meme. Unfortunately, these days, most people use the word meme to describe a much simpler concept, which is a macro image, which is the concept of taking a image like Scumbag Stacy, putting a couple words on it, and say, I made a meme. No, you didn't. You made a macro image. It's a completely different thing. It's like a 10th or 100th of a meme. It's not a meme. Anyway, so there's the pedant in me getting all upset about the fact that people use the word meme wrong, even though in this context, he's probably not using it wrong. I mean, the insurance business in some ways is kind of like a meme. I mean, you could definitely make it, it's better, it's more of a meme than a macro image is, I think, personally. So, anyway, there we go. Moving on. Okay, all right, we'll take a question from live. Have you ever talked about YouTube Red? What's your evaluation of it as a content creator? Okay, YouTube Red. Interesting, it's a great question. YouTube Red was, to my memory, it was, sorry about the, whoa. Well, that does weird things with the green screen. I'm gonna have to mess with that. I think the chair, it's because the chair is a different color. Probably why. Didn't do that last time. Didn't do that earlier. Again, the question was, have you ever talked about YouTube Red? What's your evaluation of it as a content creator? To my memory, YouTube Red was YouTube/Google's response to Twitch subscribing. There was a time where you couldn't subscribe on Twitch, or it wasn't really as big of a thing as it is today. And YouTube Red came out, and it was a response to both Twitch subscriptions, and it was also a response to increasing usage of ad block in the video industry. Overall, I think that it is a good idea. For the people who want to support their content creators, and they don't want to watch ads, your absolute best approach to supporting your favorite content creators is to support them directly with whatever method you feel is the most appropriate. And if and only if you have the financial means to do so. If you don't, then don't. Under no circumstance should someone who doesn't have the financial means to even consider spending money on something like that, should they ever do it. You should never feel guilted or obligated for any reason to do it. I mean, straight from the bottom of my heart. If you want to, go ahead, watch every single video of mine that I've ever made, and just, it's fine. You never have to support me directly. It's fine. But if you can and you want to, then the best thing you could possibly do would be to support through some method of direct support, either Patreon, or used to be Subbable, but then they got merged with Patreon. So Patreon, Twitch subscribing, YouTube Red, direct donations, bits, cheers, whatever, any of those things. Buy a t-shirt, which we are going to sell again someday, I swear. It's just, I get distracted by playing video games, and then I don't do that other stuff as much. How much does Patreon take? They take like 5%, 4%. It's just a small transaction fee. It's no different than PayPal. It's actually one of the best direct revenue share methods that there is. Twitch takes 50% for subscribers, but there's an argument for every type of support, right? Like with Twitch, you get sub only mode. So if the chat is put into sub only mode or slow mode, as a subscriber, you're not exposed to that. You get access to emotes. You get access to subscriber badges. You get access to special emails and stuff. You get your name put into games. You get things, right? So there's an advantage to being a subscriber. Sure, the content creator doesn't get quite the same revenue share with that. I've heard it's possible to get up to a 70-30 split with Twitch. Haven't seen it myself yet, but hey, it'd be great if somebody wanted to set me up with that. It'd be nice. But yeah, Patreon gives 95% to the content creator. They keep like 5% for themselves. YouTube Red, I I don't know exactly what the revenue share is, but I'm 90% sure that it's based on regular YouTube content creator revenue share, which is that YouTube keeps 45% and the content creator gets 55%. But in this case, with YouTube Red, you don't subscribe to any particular channel. You subscribe to YouTube Red in general. And then however many of the YouTube Red people are watching your videos, then that some percentage of your YouTube Red money goes to that specific channel. But a huge portion of it also goes to PewDiePie. You know, so like if you really wanted to support me personally right now directly, best possible way to do it would be Patreon. Just go become a $1 lowest tier patron. Because if you do that, we've done this math before, but we'll do it right now because I think, hey, you guys asked. I'm not shilling here or like trying to bring this up, but you asked, so it's about YouTube Red. It's similar to all that, so that's how we got here. Average CPM, cash per thousand views. How much money does a YouTuber make per 1,000 views? About $1.50, maybe $2. So it takes 1,000 views to make $2. Let's just average it, and let's just say that. So the math then would be, if you were to try to compensate for if you became a $1 patron, then that would make me 95 cents. Okay? So how many views would I have to make at $2 per 1,000 views? Don't do math live. Don't do math live. You're not supposed to do math while you're live. Double check. Carry the 0, 17 squared. Basically, you'd have to watch, I don't know, I'm just gonna eyeball it. I can't figure out the math live. Don't do math live, it's a bad idea. You'd have to watch like 1,000 videos per month. It's just something stupid. It's some ridiculous number. No one watches 1,000 videos a month.
I just
every single month.
Hear the lady talk some more. Padoodle, Dingleberry, Krampus. Wahey.
Wahey. Oh, that's funny. So yeah, anyway, you would have to watch like 1,000 videos a month, and nobody does that. So yeah, by all means, if you want to block your ads or whatever, and you still want to support the channel, become a $1 patron and then block ads all you want. It's still better than anything I would make off YouTube directly. Now, you'll probably crash the YouTube economy, and the actual site itself might go under, which would be bad, but consider this. I don't expect to see ads on Netflix because we pay for it. We pay for Netflix, so that's why I don't want ads on Netflix. It's the same exact reason why I absolutely 100% refuse to watch anything on Hulu. Because I hate them. Because they suck. Because they used to be similar. They used to be, oh yeah, you get to watch things for free, but you have to watch ads. And then they came out with a paid model. And you could pay, and then you could have no ads. And then they added ads to the paid model. And now even with the paid model, you have to have ads. And it's like, dude, you are not the cable industry. Stop sucking. Like, no. You realize that in the history of cable TV, it used to be that there were ads, and then you could buy cable. You could buy a cable TV subscription, and then that was supposed to be zero advertisement TV. And yet now cable TV is, gosh darn, like 35% of all content on TV is ads. You can't do that. That's called double dipping. It's bullshit. Okay? You can either pay a monthly rate to get the content you want with no ads, or you can have content for free and get exposed to advertising. That's all I think it should be. To me, it's very simple. So if, yeah, anyway, Netflix, don't you dare add ads to my shows. I expect to watch the entire season of Black Mirror the second it comes out with no ads. That's just the way I want to do it, okay? I'm warning you, Netflix. Yeah, you can't double dip. That's bad. No, I don't like it. Anyway, next. If you could only eat one kind of pizza for the rest of your life, what kind of pizza would it be? Probably the same kind of pizza that I order every single time because I'm a creature of habits. I find things that I like and then I just stick with them. I absolutely love sausage and pepperoni. plain pepperoni, it's just, it's boring. A little bit of sausage. Sausage and pepperoni. Both of them. Really good. Totally love it. Next question. What's your thought on the game Undertale? Doesn't ring a bell. I don't know what that is. I don't remember. I'm sorry. Next. Have you ever questioned approximately how much of an impact you have had on any subscriber's life? Have you ever questioned approximately how much of an impact you've had? Okay, yeah, I get some very interesting messages from time to time. And they really mean a lot because it takes someone opening up and risking putting themselves out there to even write a message like they do to me. People who are going through a hard time with their family or with health or with death or with something. But yeah, over the last 4 some years that I've been doing YouTube, it'll have been my 4th year. I started doing YouTube videos on like March 3rd, 2013. So we're like a week and a half away from my 4th year anniversary. Maybe we should have waited a week. William, why aren't we doing this a week? We should do this next week. All right. Thanks for coming, everyone. We're wrapping the stream up here. No, just it was a joke. I was joking. But people, over the last 4 years, I've gotten some emails and some messages via different methods, and people will just say things like, you know, I really helped them out through a hard time or something because I was always there, and they could, you know, just turn to me when they needed to be away from whatever thing it was that they couldn't get away from. You know, I was their escape in some ways, that it was reassuring or refreshing to know that, like, even though this was bad, whatever this was, once every 12 hours or once every 6 hours, there was another video, and they could just count on it being there to distract them from their current challenge. And so, yeah, no, I don't really question it so much as I think about it, and it's an interesting thing to think about. Yeah. All right, moving on. Next, any plans to return to Stellaris? Just wondering, as it's what I've been playing recently. I do plan to return to Stellaris probably when the next expansion goes out, and I want to do multiplayer. So far, I play multiplayer with Paradox at their developer stuff. I've only ever done single-player Stellaris campaigns, though, and I have absolutely like no interest whatsoever in doing another single-player Stellaris campaign for YouTube. No, that's not going to happen. But multiplayer, especially perhaps on Twitch first, seems very appealing to me. I've heard that the Stellaris multiplayer is a lot more interesting. So, yeah. As of now, and looking back, do you feel accomplished and or happy? Well, as per the stream yesterday, yes. We don't need to go into a huge amount of detail about all the specifics of why, but hey, go watch the video on demand later on if you'd like. But no, I'm great. Things are really good right now. Overall, 2016 was not a very good year for in my life. It's probably one of the worst years of my life. Not the worst year. Worst year of my life would have been probably the year my dad died. But 2016 was second place. It was second place in a race of 2. That was a bad year, but today, where we are now, it's good. Everything's really good. I'm happy with where I'm at. I've got a game plan. It's all written. It's written down. I know where I'm going. I know what I'm doing. I've got a good goal, and I'm happy with where things are and where they're going right now. Do you think you have big opportunities for growth, or have you reached the largest audience possible without diluting your content? I don't think there's like a really big untapped EU4 market that I have yet to break into or something. I don't think that tomorrow suddenly 10 times as many people are going to be watching grand strategy videos on YouTube. But is the channel going to continue to grow? Yes, I definitely think it will grow. It's not going to grow as fast as it used to, but it's growing every day. It's averaging somewhere between 3,000 and 6,000 subscribers per month on average, usually. Depends on how many videos I put out and if they're good, if they're interesting, if my energy level's high when I've made them, if the core concept of the campaign was a good idea or not. Because I've done some bad ones in the past. Those have happened, you know. You think something sounds good on paper and it turns out no, it wasn't a good idea. Not everything can be a slam dunk. Not everything can be a what do you call it? What's that one game? Supposedly it's America's pastime, I think. At least that's what people say, which is weird because I can't think of it right now. Oh yeah, baseball. What's the saying though? Knock it out of the park? I think that's where you like take like a stick of wood and hit like a little ball or something. I don't know. It doesn't sound like it's as good as cricket, but apparently it's a big deal. Sorry, I'm just making fun of organized sports. In general, I'm not a sports person. I think that they are ridiculous. In order of ridiculousness, just for the sake of upsetting as many people as possible, because for some reason I find it mildly entertaining right now. Here's a list of the sports that I think are the most ridiculous, from least ridiculous to most ridiculous. Least ridiculous. I'll give you my top 3. Third most ridiculous sport. Actually, I gotta think about this in reverse order if I'm gonna go that way. So first would be... Okay, got it. Second would be... Maybe not in any particular order. Okay, we'll just start. Okay. Very, very ridiculous sport is football. Football has got to be one of the most ridiculous sports ever created. And I'm not talking about the good football, real football, that's played with your, I don't know, feet. I'm talking about American football. Talk about that ball where they only ever use their hands and they never use their feet unless they're the kicker. And yet they call it football. Ooh, how did that happen? That's stupid. But here's why football's dumb. When football first came out, when they first started playing football, it was about skill. You know the average weight size of a football player when football first became a sport was like 150 to 160. They were like soccer players. They were athletes. They were thin. They were small. They were short. They were fast. They were agile. Which isn't to say they're not those things today, because they are. There's some very agile, very fast, very whatever football players. Do you know what the weight of the average linebacker is today? I'm going to Google this. I'm going to Google this so that I'm not wrong. I need to open a new Chrome outside of this one. Yes, there we go. Average linebacker size 2017. The average weight of a linebacker today is about 220 pounds, 200 pounds. Why does that matter? Because football is basically just Neanderthals smashing their faces into each other now. There are people who weigh like 400 pounds and they are crashing into each other and they think a little helmet's going to protect them. There are people who play sports. I will rue the day my son tells me he wants to play football. I will not let him. He's not allowed to play football. It's not an option. That sport needs to go the way of not baseball. Sorry. Baseball's dying too, by the way. But it needs to go the way of boxing, okay? Boxing used to be huge. It still is pretty big, but it used to be bigger. And then they realized, turns out, when you hit each other in the head a lot, people get stupid. It's not a good thing. Well, guess what? Turns out, when really, really, really big dudes run into each other and give each other's concussions, and then they have their little medic tell them that they're fine and they should go play again. Hey, let's go play. Let's just keep playing. It's just a small concussion. It's fine. Turns out, when you get a concussion on top of a concussion on top of a concussion on top of a concussion, you get brain damage and you get stupid. And then you get something similar to Alzheimer's or dementia, effectively, and then you die. There's a video. There's a couple movies about it right now, because that's apparently the best way to get information out to the masses. There's all kinds of information, all kinds of literature out there right now that show just how bad that sport is. That sport needs to die. It is bad. It needs to go the way of boxing. Stop hitting each other. People are going to die. It's stupid. So that's one of the number one stupidest sports, I think, right now. And then I'll do like 2 more real quick, and then we got to move on. I think basketball's kind of dumb, but I still like it. It's way better than way better than American football. But the reason why I think it's kind of dumb is that the scores are too high. It's not like soccer or, football, where you could have a game where the game is like, decided 3-2, 2-3. Maybe, I don't know. What was the goal with Germany and Brazil? It was like a 9-0 or something ridiculous. But it seems to me like the average basketball game these days is like, this team won 99-93. You know what that means? That means that they need more defense. The game needs to be some other method involved. Like, this just, the players are too tall. They keep getting taller, and the basketball net, the height is the same. It's too offensive. It's gonna keep getting this way. As the selective pressure for basketball players continues to increase, the players will get bigger, taller, and it's too easy for them to score. It's just too easy. They're too tall now. It's like the worst person, the shortest person on a basketball team can dunk easily. We need to have, I don't know. Anyway, let's move on. I am probably upset. Twitch chat's starting to get a little bit riled up with me. Next! And now I'll just walk away and leave the moderators to take care of it. I'm sorry. Oh, I apologize, moderators. You know I love you, right? Have you ever watched Digimon? No, sorry, I haven't. I don't know what that is. I'm assuming it's related to Pokemon, which I never played. Never got into Pokemon. How did you meet your wife? I believe we covered this on the AMAA from my 100k subscriber AMAA. She was an exchange student, and picked her out of the catalog, basically, and she came to live with us, and she fell in love with me first, and then I said, okay, this is weird, we're not supposed to be like each other, because that's not right, because you're supposed to be my host sister. I'm your brother, kinda, sorta, but not really, because we're not. I mean, we're not stupid, we know we're not related, so, okay, fine, let's do it. So yeah, it kinda happened that way. I kinda, sorta imported my wife, kinda, sorta picked her out of a catalog. Not like in a bad way, but like more in a, I was a senior in high school, and we had already had an exchange student before, who was from Germany, and he was awesome.
It and other footballs are called football because of being played on foot rather than on horse, like polo.
Okay, well that makes sense, but then we made automobiles. And so any kind of reference, like the term horsepower, that's another one that should go away. I think we should just all, as a community, get together and just say that we need to stop calling it football. I do appreciate Reina's days. I don't mean to belittle your cheer. Thank you for the information. That does make a lot of sense. I understand now why it's called that. It's just, we should change it. Can we make like a petition to fix it? Because it's not called that. It shouldn't be called that anymore. Because it's confusing. But yeah, horsepower. We don't use horses anymore. Anyway, back to my wife. So yeah, I was a senior in high school. We had already had an exchange student before, and if you're not familiar with the process, the way it works is that there are families that want to host exchange students, and there are families that want to send their kids away to be exchange students, and there are businesses, companies that are in the business of meeting those two pairs together. And the way they do that is they put together a big, huge book of names of people who want to go, and then they put basic information together, like age, gender, do they have pets? Do they not want to be around smokers? Do they play sports? They do this thing and that, so that they can try to match up kids that are going to be appropriate, for the thing. Like if you were like a book, like a little book nerd, then you probably don't want to get paired with a host family that's all about sports and has huge animals and whatever, and lives on a farm somewhere or something. I don't know. So you end up, you have some basic information about it. So I was a senior in high school, and my parents said, we're going to get another exchange student, and this time it's going to be a girl, because last time we had a boy. So yeah, which one do you want it? Which one do you want to take? And so I did what any sane 12th grader would do. I looked through the book and found the hottest one I could find and said, that one. Obviously. Because if some girl's going to come live with you for a year, she might as well be hot. Come on. I figured at the time, might as well have something pretty to look at. If I can't, I mean, why not? Right? MCAJ4. For the record, she's still very hot. But I'll admit, that was pretty much the primary motivator. And I'm glad I did it, because turns out that I like her. I like her quite a bit, in fact. And we're still together, so... Of course she knows this, absolutely. I have told her multiple times, and it is completely true, that I would have 100% stayed her host brother the whole time. Obviously, I liked her. Obviously, I thought she was attractive. That's why I picked her. But I would never act on it. I would never do anything. I would never, like... You realize that you're not allowed to do that, right? You're not allowed to have a relationship with your host family. You can't date your host brother. That's not allowed. If the company that hosts the exchange students finds out, they send you home. You get sent back. So you're done. So you're not supposed to do that. Fortunately for us, her coordinator, which is the name of the person that actually places you in a house, she had a daughter who had fallen in love with a host, an exchange student boy, and so she just turned the other cheek and just said, "Don't make a big deal out of it. Don't get in trouble in school. Avoid PDA. Keep it yourself." And we said, "Okay."
Character
Sounds
finder,
awesome.
Greater than attractive. Greater than mom, I want her.
Exactly. That's exactly how it worked, Bruzka. So anyway, yeah, that's how I met her. But I would have never acted on it. She started it. And she knows she did, because she did. She was a wily thing. You realize women, every woman out there, they are all wily. They're crafty devils. Foxes. They are. You know how she got to me? You know how she messed with me? She told me she liked my cousin. She hinted for a while that she liked somebody. She wouldn't tell me who. I hoped it was me. And she kept hiding it from me for a while. And then she finally told me that she liked my cousin. So crafty. Obviously that drove me nuts. I hated it. And then we ended up dancing at like some high school dance or something that I didn't go to her with, but we ended up ending up together with anyway. Anyway, long story short, yeah, I met my wife that way. Moving on. Crafty woman. He's sneaky. If someone donated 1 million to you, what would you do? I'm like Ross from Friends. I would probably want to set it up into some sort of long-term bond or investment account. No, seriously, I would. I would do that. I would do something like that. Actually, my very first thing I would do would be to call my CPA to find out what the tax ramifications are for something like that. Because clearly, you can't not claim that. So you'd have to set some of it aside for taxes. I think, pretty sure. It'd be like winning the lottery. You know, you don't get all the lottery. Like it's a Mega Millions. You win 400 million. No, you don't. You don't get that much. That would be if you took it over like 20 years on a monthly payment system, which nobody does because they're idiots. They should do it that way, but they don't. Yeah, so you'd have to set some of it aside for that. And then you would have to figure, okay, well, I would probably spend 5, maybe 10% of it right now, because that's what I've read. I've read that I would treat it exactly like winning the lottery. Lottery winners, it's like a 99% recurrence, or whatever the word is for it. But like most people who win the lottery lose it all. They lose every dollar. They end up with less money than they had before they won. And it's because they don't follow rules. They don't put a system in place. So I would follow the system. I would read up on it, and I would set money aside for taxes. I would splurge with 5 to 10% to get it out of my system, and I would put the rest into some sort of account that I can't touch, and I would invest it for the future for my kids, my wife, and I. And it's part of the retirement, and I would do nothing else any different. So, yeah, I'm very boring in that way. I would buy some good long-term stock. Not a big fan of the mutual funds. If you're unaware, I did have my Series 7 securities license. I was a registered stockbroker. I actually had some very extensive training in securities. I could sell any financial vehicle, any product you could possibly want to buy. I could sell it at one point. I don't currently have that license active. I haven't renewed it because I don't do that anymore. But my personal opinion is that even Class A growth stock mutual funds cost too much in maintenance. With a Class A mutual fund, you generally pay anywhere from 3 to 6% upfront of your initial investment, and then a 0.5 to 1% annual maintenance fee. And then what they do is they diversify the account for you. They buy, generally speaking, with a growth stock mutual fund, they're going to buy mostly, it's going to be spread out, but it's going to be like small, medium, and large size companies with a, there's 3 classifications: small, medium, and large. Small is less than $1 billion in valuation. Medium is 1 to 10, and large is 10 billion plus. And they spread out the accounts over the course of some percentage of each of those, depending on the prospectus. And then they buy different ones. They mix it up. They buy some bonds, they buy some real estate, they buy some growth stocks, etc., and all that noise. And then they charge you for it. If you are an investor that is not willing to do any research and you're kind of dumb, growth stock mutual funds are awesome. Just buy them and walk away and never think about it again. Probably the best option there is for you. Assuming your criteria meet my criteria, which is long-term investment. And that you're willing to take some risk because you realize that you can't make good... There's a direct line of correlation. The higher your... Let's see if I can make a line. There's a direct line like this. Just goes like that. You want high returns? You have to take more risk. If you take less risk, less return. You want a good return? You got to take some risk. If you have time, then you're going to be fine. But even at 0.5%, if the prospectus said there was 0.5% for the annual maintenance fee on Class A shares, I'd still just want to buy direct stock myself because it'd be fine. Index funds, yeah, sure. Index funds try to mirror the performance of the S&P 500 or whatever other index they're tied to, but they still have maintenance fees because they got to change. You know, the S&P 500 changes on an annual basis. S&P 500, it's not always the same companies. It's the top 500 companies over 11 different sectors of the United States economy. So no, I would just buy growth stock. I would just buy stock, and I would hold it for 40 years, and I would laugh when I'm a bazillionaire in my 70s with my bionic eyes. It'd be great. Next. Have you ever considered selling shirts or apparel of your brand? Yes, we have. I'm not wearing one right now, but I wore one like 2 days ago. The channel artist, Debujor, is trying to push me into actually doing a good job at that kind of stuff. Turns out I'm not very good at managing websites because I don't want to do it. That's the main reason. I could do it. I could teach myself how. I could learn how to do it, but I have no interest in doing it. I just don't. And so that's one of the reasons why the Arumba.tv website has been as basic as it has been for the last 3 years. However, in the last couple months, I've been trying very, very hard to get closer to and to surround myself with good people who are intelligent and thoughtful and like-minded and that want to work with me. And it's something where I'm trying to teach them everything that I know about the businesses that I've spent time in and help them to build their own channels or YouTube or Twitch or whatever. And at the same time, they're helping me in other ways too. So anyway, yeah, we're gonna hopefully soon have a website relaunch complete. Like, there's still like 1 or 2 obstacles that need to get satisfied before that can happen. It's sort of done. It looks amazing, absolutely crazy good. Prime Dead is the guy in Twitch, yes. Prime Dead says, like Prime Dead, yes. He's one of the guys who's awesome. Basically, if you're a moderator for me on Twitch, then you're pretty much part of the inner circle, you know. It's a small crew, but a good crew, and it will grow. We're still adding people. It's not like it's a closed group that no one else can ever join. I will say this: if you want to get close to me, if you want to get part of the group, get whatever, best possible thing to do is to participate in Twitch chat, join Discord, talk in Discord, we're adding people to the moderator team. Not every single week, but every week or so we sit down and we actually talk about like who do we think might make a good person to add to the team and to bring in. And it's a dynamic team. So yeah, Discord's where it's at in 2017. If you wanna get close, spend time in Discord. That's pretty much how, like, Prime Dead, for example, just as a case study. Prime Dead is an awesome guy. He just sort of totally took it upon himself to make sure that the Factorio server kept going when my computer would somehow stop working. We were running a major mod pack for Factorio a couple months ago, and the game was running great. But when I would leave the server running overnight, after like an hour or so, it would stop letting people connect, and people would get stuck in a desync loop. And there was some bug, basically, in the current version of Factorio that was causing that, or one of the mods or something. And so every time that would happen, Prime Dead would just like rehost the game and keep it going. And so we had this non-stop 24/7 server for weeks, and he was just always really good at it. He was just always there. He was really on top of it, and all of the moderators thought, hey, that's a really good, cool guy. We should bring him in. And so, yeah, he's been an amazing member of the group. So now, again, any other moderators here, they're all talking now in Twitch chat, trying to get me to say good things about them. You're all amazing. You're all great. I'll pat you all on the back later. It's one case study. Okay. I'm sorry. I can't, I gotta move on. You're all awesome. But I need to give an example. That's just, Discord, etc., etc. Okay, we've kind of already covered a question similar to this. If you could design your own game question. Oh, apparently I skipped that. Okay. If you knew someone who was emotionally like you and went through some of the same issues you have, how would you comfort them? Are we talking about like what I talked about yesterday? With like the family curse of being emotionless, not being able to connect with your feelings, and just being told that that's normal? I'm going to assume, since I don't know exactly who asked the question, and I can't really get confirmation, but I'm going to assume that that's what they mean. So yes, if it was somebody like me who has difficulty connecting with their emotions, how would I comfort them? I would say that everybody's different. Some people are bald, some people have hair, some people are short, some people are fat, some people are skinny, some people are tall. Some people have black eyes, some people have brown eyes, some people have blue eyes, some people have black hair, brown hair, red hair. You see where I'm going with this? Everybody's different on the outside. So it stands to reason that everyone is different on the inside too. And it's okay. Not your fault. There's nothing wrong with you. You don't need to feel guilt in any way. But if you think that you don't feel right, if you don't think that you feel the same as other people do, that's okay. But you should talk to somebody. You need to see somebody. It's very important that you see somebody. Because if you don't, there's a pretty good chance you may go a very long period of your entire life with an untreated issue. And, it's like, you guys know what I'm talking about with regard to depression? I remember seeing some cartoons about depression where like there's a guy who he has depression, obviously, right? It's about depression. So there's a guy who's depressed, and he's trying to tell people that he's in pain, he's hurting, there's something wrong, I'm hurting. And they're just all these different examples of people just telling him, hey, you're fine, just walk it off, you're fine, just keep going, you're good. And then at the end of the cartoon, there's like a guy like with a broken leg or broken arm or something, and to juxtapose the ridiculousness of the statement that someone who has depression is fine and should just deal with it, toughen up, to juxtapose that, it's some guy with a broken leg being told to continue walking or running. You're fine. It's fine, it's just a broken leg, just walk it off, you're fine, don't worry about it, it's fine, just keep going. You can finish this. Just toughen up. Go. Why are you just stop whining and start walking? How ridiculous is that? It's crazy. Anyway, mental health is a serious thing. And if you have anything like that, it's not your fault. There's nothing wrong with you. You're wired that way. You're built that way. You need to just consider the fact that everyone's different and that it's okay. And you know what? Some people have issues with their weight, and it is oftentimes because of their internal chemical makeup as well. You know, that they have that. There's people who are. Anyway, that's the gist of what I would say. How much has Patreon helped your internet career? Patreon is a very good platform, and I really wish I had more Patreon subscribers. My biggest gripe with Patreon is something that I learned in the insurance business, and that is that even though in the United States there's this general idea that you should never tell people how much you make, which is by the way wrong, and you should tell people how much you make. But the reason why people don't want you to tell how much you make is because corporations don't want you to, because then they don't have to offer you as much money, and they make a better bottom dollar. They make more. It's better for them. So there's this like pervasive meme, right? That you're not allowed to talk about your income in the United States. And in the insurance business, there was something similar where it's like you never would want to tell a client that you make a lot of money if you do make a lot of money, because you would... If they felt like you made more money than them, then they would feel like they don't need to do business with you because you're already doing really well. And so I was trained for 6.5 years, 7 years or so of insurance sales to avoid the topic of how much money do I make with clients. With coworkers, I've never had any issue with it. With people on, trust me, ask any of the people, any of the moderators, if I'm forthcoming with my numbers with them, and they'll tell you that I am. I don't hide that information. I don't think I need to. I told you guys earlier that I make like $2 per 1,000 views, right? You can do the math. Go look at my views. That's about how complicated it is. Seriously, that's about the gist of what needs to be. It's very easy. So back to the question: how much has Patreon helped your internet career? The thing my only real gripe with Patreon is that they just put the number right up there, and I feel like that causes people to not want to become a patron because they think they see the number and they say to themselves, "Well, that's the good number. You know, that's more than I'm making right now," or I don't think I should pay someone for this when they're already doing well. That kind of thing. I feel like if you could hide the number, that you'd have a lot more patrons. But at the same time, that's just the way that it is. So it's out there. So, but Patreon's amazing. It's really good for direct participation, for getting people involved, for people being able to, as I use it at least, get that ad block absolution, you know, rather than feel guilty about having an ad blocker running or something. They can just subscribe for like $1 a month, the bare minimum, and then that's more than anything they could ever do for me, and it's great, you know. Become a $1 patron and just feel good about it. It would if 1% of my subscribers became patrons, that would be pretty good. That would be a lot more people than the number right now. For reference, the number right now is 1,080 patrons. But not everyone subscribes at the $1 amount, so. FishTank91, Pizza Guy, Mike, thank you for your Twitch Prime subscriptions. Yeah, Patreon's great. I really think Patreon's a great addition. It's a good, it doesn't replace YouTube, it doesn't replace Twitch, it doesn't replace the other things, but it's a good additional ancillary income. It's good. Next, if you're still tempted to move outside the US, have you thought where of going? If I actually moved, we'd probably go to where my wife wants to go, which is Colombia. I don't really want to go there. She kind of knows that, because I don't ever answer her... I never say yes, but I never say no, but I never say yes. So it's pretty obvious I don't really want to go, but I don't want to hurt her feelings. She knows. She knows I don't want to go. I don't want to go because technically it's a third world country. I don't want to go because we're watching a TV show called, what is it called? There's a TV show. It's called... Alright, I'll give you the plot. It's a girl who was taken by the gorillas of some place, and then she wants to become a doctor. La Nina. It's called La Nina. So we're watching some show about La Nina, right? They still have gorillas. Not like the cool gorillas, like, you know, silverbacks and stuff, but like armed militants that live in the jungle and like kidnap people and like make 7-year-old girls become slaves to them. Now, granted, you can't judge an entire country based on just one small faction of it, but I don't know. I don't want to. She loves her country. She has every right to love her country. She should. She was born there, not through some sort of intrinsic, like, you know, you must have patriotism. You must be a patriot. But there are some pros and cons to it. You know, living in Colombia, she's right. We would still make the same amount of money, but we would live like kings because the cost of living is like nothing down there. It'd be like making 10 times as much money because we could just have tons more money. But I also wouldn't have gigabit internet. I also wouldn't have, for all the things that are wrong with the United States, vote in the chat. Let me check. For all the things that I do complain about when it comes to, the United States, there are a lot of liberties that are afforded to me and my family based on living in the United States. I've often thought, actually, about the right to bear arms and the fact that there are some countries where you're not allowed to have a weapon, and how if I wanted to, I could go and buy a rifle or a pistol or something and just keep it in my house and protect myself if someone threatened my family. Let's just pretend like I've got lots of guns, okay? Nobody come to my house. Nobody threaten my family. I will murder you. Probably. Castle Doctrine. Just kidding. I don't actually have any guns. My dad murdered himself. He committed suicide with a gun, so I've kind of got a thing for guns, against guns, but at the same time, I just sort of like that, having that in the back of my head that I could have one, that it would be within my right to have one and be able to protect myself, and like I don't need one is kind of my whole point in this aside. It's just that even though I could, I don't feel it's necessary. I feel safe enough that I don't have to have one. I don't ever fear for my family. I don't ever fear that someone could break into our home and just do whatever. I don't fear that. And I don't know that that would be the truth, that would still be the same way in another country. Yeah, I don't know. There are issues. I mean, there are definitely issues. I would consider moving to another country. I would. I mean, just because I was born here doesn't mean that I have to live here. But at the same time, I don't know. It's really hard. How do you actually pick? Okay, next. Any chance any E4 non-cooperative multiplayer? Yes, we talked about that. Non-cooperative filthy with maybe other people too. Dominions 4. Rather complicated strategy game. Tried it, didn't really like it. Graphics were really big turnoff. It seems complicated, it seemed interesting to me, but it just seemed like it doesn't meet a couple of my current criteria, which are games that I want to try should be new, so that they're actually searched for on YouTube. They should be have at least an accessible interface, and things that I want to play and would play on my own time on my way, or on my like anyway. So I just really didn't really like that. Would you move to Europe? Yeah. If I were to actually move to another country, even though my wife would like to move to Colombia, I would actually choose someplace in Europe. Some of the top countries that come to mind, in no particular order, I do have a fondness for Sweden. Not because I want to live near Paradox or work for Paradox or anything like that, but I do genuinely and generally like that country. I just think it's a nice country. I like darkness. I like cold weather. I like the weather there. They take like a whole month off in the middle of summer because it's like the only time of the year that it's warm. That means that 11 months of the year, I don't have to go outside, and I don't have to feel bad about not going outside. That's awesome! That would be so cool! I would love it. Beyond that, I mean, anywhere that speaks English more fluently, like, that's another thing that's very appealing to me about Sweden, is that almost everyone speaks English. Even though they speak Swedish, they also all, like, they speak English. An English-speaking European country would be pretty cool. Alright, moving on. Question from live chat. Do you ever worry that someone would find your personal Facebook since you showed your face? No, I don't, because I deleted Facebook. Not just deleted it like, oh, I told Facebook I want you to delete my account, and they said, okay, we're totally deleting your account right now, until someone logs into it again, and then it's right back. No. I actually went in and I corrupted the data. I edited every entry, every field of information is corrupted with gibberish. I deleted every picture, uploaded a bunch of bullshit pictures, deleted age, deleted preferences, deleted everything about it. Dead, gone. And then I deleted the account. So, no, I don't worry about Facebook at all because Facebook is one of many devils out there today. And if you use Facebook for anything other than, I don't really know what a good use for Facebook would be right now. Maybe keeping up with people from college you haven't seen in a long time. Maybe trying to stay in touch with distant relatives. Those things seem appropriate. Everything else, just be aware that they're data mining the shit out of everything you do, selling it to everybody, and they are so corrupt. Facebook is horrible. Facebook is bad. Very, very bad. Get off Facebook. Kill Facebook. Not only is it bad for your own personal information and all that, but I personally, and again, now we're just all of this, I think it should be stated, a la Dave Ramsey, I am an expert on my opinion, and all I'm doing is giving you my opinion. So you can think I'm wrong if you want, but I'm an expert on my opinion, and I am 100% sure that my opinion is correct from my perspective. So I'm just giving you my opinion, right? There's probably plenty of reasons why Facebook's not the things that I'm saying, but in my experience, for many reasons, I think that Facebook is a horrible website, and you should get off of it immediately. It used to be really cool. It used to be a great website. When I was in college, and it was actually only for people who were in college, and it was just a way to meet people in your own college, it was a great thing. And then they sold out, and then they went public, sold out to the man, and now we got Mark Zuckerberg living on some island somewhere. No, that website is bad. So I think it's bad for those reasons, but the other reason is that I personally think that it corrupts people's perceptions of reality. People who spend too much time on Facebook, you're only ever getting the best of the people that you are looking at. You're getting the best picture, the best people. There's only two types of posts really on Facebook. There's the look how cool I am posts, look what I just did, look how great my life is posts. And then there's the look how shit my life is, give me sympathy, ask me what's wrong posts. There's just those two. There's no in between. There's nothing else. Most people quickly learn to ignore the calls for help, where people just say nothing, wanting your attention. So all you're really left with then are the best side of things. The completely bullshit artificial life that people try to paint themselves in that's not real. And so you're constantly trying to compete with people who are living fake lives. And so your entire perception of reality is wrong. You think that at the age of 20 you should be living in a house that your 60-year-old parents or grandparents are living in. You think that when you turn 20 you should be living in a $500,000 house because that's reasonable. No, it's not. They live in that house, they have that nice house because they worked for 40 years or 30 years. 30 years! Not, oh my god, I just turned 20, I need the biggest, bestest everything. Do you think that the guy who bought the $1,000 beater is going to post a bunch of pictures about it on Facebook? Or do you think that the kid who's getting spoiled rotten by his parents and just bought him a Ferrari is going to post a picture on it? You're going to see pictures of Ferraris. You're going to see the good stuff. Only the best. It's so fake, so artificial. And yeah, if you want to freak yourself out, go watch some Black Mirror. I mean, that show is really well done. I think it'll make you think. Okay, another one from live. Hey Arumba, I have a small YouTube channel and have been getting all these partnership offers from various YouTube networks. Are you on one of these networks? Why or why not? What are the pros and cons? That's actually a really interesting question. We just covered this the other day with the crew chat, or the crew sessions that we do. YouTube networks are, I think, a unnecessary entity these days. They used to be important, but they are not anymore. No, you do not need to join a network. No, I am not a part of a network. I do not endorse joining a network. Even if I could, which I can, create my own network, I am not going to create my own network and ask people to join my network, because I believe that they are detrimental to the YouTube channel, that the YouTube channels that join them. So quick summary why they used to be good. Used to be that you couldn't claim your videos for monetization unless you were part of a network. Networks had a special feature. They could claim videos. They could say, that's mine, and instantly turn on monetization. If you weren't part of a network, you would have to submit your video for monetization. You would have to submit for approval. That approval process could take anywhere from a couple minutes to days. Most views on most videos are within the first day or two. If you look at most of my videos, they get probably 80% of their views happen in the first 24 hours. So imagine having to wait 24 hours before your video gets monetized, and then only 20% of the actual views get monetized. That's bad. In that case, you should probably join a network so you can monetize immediately. But then the network takes a cut. Most networks these days, they know they're dying. That's why they're all offering 100%, 0% revenue shares. Which, don't trust those, by the way. You know the saying, if it's too good to be true, probably is. We have met before! Twitch Prime, thank you. So, yeah, it used to be that the average network would be like a 70-30 split. So YouTube takes 45%, and then of the 55% you get, the network takes 30%, and you get 70%. So of the 55% you get, you actually only end up with 38.5. So at the end of the day, you would end up making less than YouTube does on your own videos. Because they get 45, you get 38.5. And the network, just because they take 30%. What do they live off if they do 100 shares? That's a great question, and here's my best conjecture about what it could be. I think that it's one of two things. Either when they offer a 100/0 revenue share, meaning they're giving you all of the revenue, they are either lying to you, and the contract is not as they say it is, and contains some sort of bullshit Comcast-esque clause like 12 months into the contract, normal non-promotional revenue share applies, and it goes to 80-20 or 90-10 or something. So it could be a bait and switch, right? Where they get you in at 100/0 and then it changes. And they just cheat you in that way. That'd be one way. Option or explanation number two would be that they give you 100% of the... they would use legalese in some way to lie to you, right? So instead of doing a bait and switch, they would say, we're going to give you 100% of the content creator's share. And then in the fine print of the contract, the revenue share, the content creator's revenue share is specified as 50% of X. So YouTube takes 45%, and then they forward 55% to the network, and then the network gives you 50% of the 55%, so they're actually keeping 5 out of 55, which is actually 9.1%. You see what I'm saying? They use some sort of bullshit legalese, is my theory. But I don't trust it. If it's too good to be true, probably is, right? So if they're offering you a 100%/0% revenue share, there's got to be, you're right, they have to be making some way. So I wouldn't trust it. But anyway, you don't need it, because here's what happened. In 2016, No, might have been 15 now. A while ago, like a year or two ago, YouTube changed how the whole system worked, and now you don't need to be part of a network to claim videos. You just enable monetization, and it's just automatic. So the one good thing that networks used to be able to give you is now gone, and there's no reason to give them any of your money. How did you come up with your username, Arumba? I have no idea. I was, it was probably like 5th or 6th grade. I was just getting into Warcraft 2 and StarCraft, and I was playing with my friend Ben. We had to create Battle.net accounts so that we could go online. And, just the first thing I typed. Just typed it. I don't know. It's just where I got it. Just Arumba. Just, my handle. Just made it. Whatever. It didn't come from anywhere. So that was a long time ago now. Do you ever feel like taking a big break from YouTube/everything? No. I get my breaks. I work to be ahead, and I get vacations. Sometimes I can go 2-3 weeks without recording. I get my breaks. It's not like I'm having to record every 3 hours. It's funny how even today people think that I record every like I'm awake 24/7, and that I'm recording and constantly sitting there pressing the release video button or something. It's not how it works. No, I can end up taking weeks off, but generally speaking, that's not how it goes. Next. I think we answered this on the other one. No. I don't know. It's a silly question. 'Tis a silly place. Will you name your next child Fredigar? No. I won't have any more children, probably. I had a vasectomy. They're not perfect, but they're pretty darn accurate. Pretty good. Valsron, thank you for your subscription. Welcome to the team. My voice is really starting to go, by the way. I streamed for 6.5 hours today, and now we're 2.5 hours into this. So, what games series did you most enjoy making while being forced to discontinue due to a lack of in-game content? Let me go look. I don't keep all of the video. But I can show you this. So, I keep the residual files for every video I've ever made, every series I've ever done. These are all the videos. These are all the games that are on the channel. Age of Wonders, Anno 2205, Ashes of the Singularity, Aurora 4X, Banished, Binding of Isaac, Boss Constructor, Cards of Against Humanity, City Skylines, Civilization 5 and 6, Beyond Earth, Seek It 2, Darkest Dungeon, Democracy 3, Dota, Dwarf Fortress, Endless Legend, Endless Spaces 1 and 2, EU4, Factorio, Fortress Craft, FTL, Galciv 3, Galciv 2, Grand Ages, Medieval, Hearthstone, Hearts of Iron 4, Hero Defense, Haunted Island, Homeworld, Interplanetary, Master of Orion, Off-Road Trading Company, Pandemic, Those of Eternity, Planetary Annihilation, Punch Club, Reus, Rimworld, Skyrim, Starbound, Stardew Valley, Stellaris, The Last Federation, Sims 4, Thea the Awakening, Total Rome War 2, Tropico, Victoria 2, Warlock 2, Worm Clan War, XCOM 2. Those are all the games I've played. The big ones, like EU4, have lots and lots of series that I've done over time. So you're asking, the question was, if there was a question that I don't want to do, or like a game that I did enjoy making but was forced to continue due to a lack of interest or something. So, the answer then would be... which? It's a tough question. I'd have to say probably Dota. And that's not even really a good answer, because the question is, will I be forced to discontinue due to a lack of in-game content? It's not even... Dota's not even really the right answer. I kind of interpreted the question to mean more like a game I wish I could play, but I can't because of a reason. And for me, the answer would be Dota. I want to play Dota. I would love to just be able to play Dota. I love that game. But there's just not enough interest on the channel for me to play it. I can't justify the time spent. So, yeah, it's a completely different answer than the question that was asked, but lack of in-game content, I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. Like what? Like I got to the end and there wasn't enough left? I guess you could say Spaz 2. I really enjoyed playing Spaz 2. I was really surprised when the game was over. Hell, I don't even think I haven't even put away the Spaz folder yet. You know, like, it was just all of a sudden it was just done. It's just over. It's like, oh, okay, I guess we're not playing Spaz 2 anymore. Because we just game over, we just won. Okay, done. Squidly Squid, resub, using Twitch Prime, thank you. What's your favorite non-Paradox game? Dota. Factorio. Factorio. I like Factorio more than I like Dota. I really like Factorio, way too much. It's too much. Monte Cristo, used Twitch Prime to resub. Awesome, Ben. That's funny. Thanks, man. 3 months in a row, you've got a good memory, man. That's my friend Ben, by the way. The one who was around when I came up with the name Arumba. What would you prefer to work? Would you prefer to work as a factory manager or take your chance on a Rimworld? I would do Factorio, definitely, because with Rimworld you're like at least as likely to get shot by one of your teammates as you are to get shot by an enemy. I had like 5-6 guys all hanging out trying to shoot a wolf, and this one guy was near the front and he got shot by 2 of his friends. They were shooting at the goddamn wolf and they got shot. They shot him. How bad do you have to be with a gun to shoot your friend? Chitin113, 3 months. Enjoy and up. And Divex Z. Thank you all. Let's see. I want to move down to... Okay. Wait, I missed one. When, in your opinion, is it time to get a new job? How do you mean? For me? Or for you? For everyone? In general? We talk about me or we talk about you? I don't know. A person? I'm gonna take it to mean a person in general, because that's the most broad answer, and it'll probably be most useful. I would say it's time to get a new job when you feel like there's nothing more to learn. When you feel like you, there's nothing else you can get better at your current job, then you need a new job. I personally, I strongly believe that you have to be learning, you have to be growing and evolving and changing. Evolving is not really the right term. It could be used in that context, but you need to be growing, you need to be learning, and if you're not, then you're dying. We're always dying. Every single breath you take, you're one breath closer to death. Arg the booty. Thank you for your sub, man. So yeah, you're always, getting a little bit closer toward death, but as long as you are moving, keeping your body active, keeping your mind working, keeping the gears turning, then you are keeping all of the systems that are in place that keep you alive running and working. It's when you become static and stationary that you die. Do you ever wonder why? And this is not just me just saying it for no reason at all. This is from some experience here with the insurance business. Do you ever wonder why there are so many old women and so many dead men in retirement? There's definitely causation here. Let me give you a rough explanation, a simple explanation. At least for the baby boomers. With our generation, most women and men both work. We don't really have the whole stay-at-home mom thing quite so often these days. But with the baby boomers, it was very common for women to be stay-at-home women, stay-at-home moms. And so they would take care of the kids, and then the kids would go to school, and then they would need to find something to get busy with, to stay busy, to keep their minds occupied. And so they would go on play dates. They would go meet other moms. They would join a book club. They would start knitting. They would do whatever. They would have hobbies. They would do things. For years and years and years and years and years. And years and years and years and years. They would have these things that they would go and do. And for the baby boomer men, they would go to work. They would, everything everything about themselves as far as their psyche goes would be identified around work. I go to work. I come home from work. I make money. I bring the money home. I go back to work. I come home, etc. So what would end up happening is that men would retire, and then they would cease to have that thing that identified who they were. They would no longer be Joe Schmo, the lumberyard worker, or whatever. They would just be retired. They wouldn't have any hobbies. They wouldn't have any things that they do to keep themselves busy. And then they would die. Is it the exact causal reason? Like the actual 100% chance reason for it? No, not really. But there is a causation there. There is some sort of statistical deviation that explains why men don't live as long as women. And it's not just because we're heavier, we're taller, and our hearts are bigger, and so we pump more oxygen, and the free radicals from the oxygen murder us faster, or whatever. Yes, we are more prone to drinking and alcohol. Those things affect us. Sure. But it's also true that if you stop moving, stop learning, you will die. So I personally think that if you are not learning in a job, you need to do something else. What is your favorite Let's Play of all time? Favorite. Very interesting spelling. Favorites Let's Play of all time. It's very broad. It's hard to... Because I don't even know if you're talking about mine, if you're talking about all in general. I mean, I couldn't even pick one out of my own, let alone all in general. I'm just going to skip that one. I'm sorry. Is your name really Jesus, and do you speak Spanish? No, my name is not Jesus. There's a YouTuber wiki that is out there. It's supposed to be like where they like congregate information that's been found about YouTubers, and you can go look it up. And for some reason, somebody thought it'd be funny to make my name like, hey, Jesus something Martinez or something. Not right. No, my name's not Jesus. I mean, yes, my name is Jesus. Down below, you'll find a link to my Patreon page. And if you truly want to make it into the afterlife, you need to subscribe. No, my name is not Jesus. Sorry. I can speak a little bit of Spanish, enough that my family members now don't completely laugh at me when I try. Not enough that non-family members really have any idea what the hell I'm saying. All right, I'm gonna skip a couple because I'm getting close to the end here of my my energy and also my streaming schedule here. So, was it easy to transition into a new media professional from a traditional job? For me, it was actually a very easy transition because I wasn't in what you would call a traditional job. I was in sales. I was used to living on commission. I was used to living in a system where I was paid based on my effort. So it wasn't any different in that way. And I'd been doing it that way for like 7 years at that point. I didn't transition into it directly. I would say that the safe approach is that if you have a hobby / thing that you think could be a job, could be a career, don't dive in without, let's see, how does Dave Ramsey like to put it? I don't know, he's got some remembered thing that he says every time to reference this quote or this thing. Basically, like, you don't jump into cold water, you test the waters first, you know? Like, don't just dive in without checking the depth or checking the temperature. Test it, you know? You want to do YouTube, make a YouTube channel. Start making some videos. Turn on monetization. Don't quit your day job. Make money, pay the mortgage, and then when you get to the point where the the hobby is actually making enough money that it's able to cover your needs, or it could cover your needs if you contributed more time to it, then you know that the water's not too cold and that the water's deep enough and you can actually do it, you know? Don't, and this is true whether it's YouTube or any other business. I strongly advise against just quitting your current job out of the blue and saying, I'll just go look in the classifieds tomorrow. Don't be that silly. You know, in life, this is an interesting topic, I think. Life, right? Like animals, creatures, prokaryotes, little single cell things. The concept of debt is something that doesn't really exist in, as far as like life and energy goes, in that way. You can't have negative energy as a creature. Like, you can't not have food. If you don't eat, you don't, it's not okay. You die, you're done, it's over. GG. Right? I see how Hendrik moved the question down. Damn it, Hendrik. So my point in that is just that, like, I think as a generation, we were brought up with the concept that it's okay to go into debt, that you can have negative money and it's fine. It's okay to be $200,000 in debt after going to college. That's normal. Everyone spends that much money when they go to college. That's how you get a good job. Holy crap, is that bullshit? Don't buy into that at all. That is such nonsense. You do not have to live in debt. You do not have to be effectively an indentured servitude, an indentured servant to your debt. Don't do that. It's okay to take out a mortgage. I'm not saying don't buy don't use a mortgage, don't buy a house. You can do that, sure. But like credit cards, don't buy things, don't spend money you don't have. That's dumb. That's dumb. It's very dumb. Now granted, you have to feed your kids, so if you have to, find some food, right? But 200K is not normal? Oh, I don't know. These days, it's ridiculous how many people will come out of college after 4 years of undergraduate and be 100K in debt or more and think, oh, it's fine, I'll get a good job now. Oh wait, except that there are no good jobs because you paid for an overpriced education for a field that's actually not growing or isn't hiring, and your skills aren't necessary. Or you find yourself in a position where they only want to hire people with experience and you can't get any experience because you haven't had a job yet. And so it's catch-22. You can't get a job. So then you have to work for free in some sort of nonsense system where you barely ever... Yeah. Here's the thing. If you need to, if your parents didn't save and you don't have money set aside for college, number one, I would recommend, and this is what I'm doing for my own kids, so I'm practicing what I preach here. I'm going to have money set aside for my kids. I'm not going to have 200 grand set aside for each of them because that's crazy. I'm not going to let them go to a fancy pants college and pay that much. No, it's just not going to happen. We're not going to go to a private college that costs ridiculous amounts of money. Maybe for the actual graduate portion of it. But for like undergraduate, they're going to go to community college or something cheap, or they're going to get a scholarship. If they get a scholarship, they can go wherever the hell they want. I don't care. Because they got the scholarship. They got to earn it. But if they want to go to college, there's going to be money for them. They can go. Even though the money's there, they don't get any of it until they're done with college. Not a penny. That's right. They're paying for college. All of it. I will have the money for them. It will be there, in accounts, set aside, ready to go. But they're still going to have to work. They're going to go to college, and they're going to have a job, and they're going to work, and they're going to study, and they're not going to be lazy, and they're not going to get entitled into thinking that this is normal to just be spending all this money and not take it seriously. No, they're going to see it. They're going to feel it. They're going to pay. They're going to write the checks. They're going to feel the money that they're spending. And they're going to know that when they get done with college, daddy and mommy are going to wipe all of it clean and give them every single penny back. And if they don't graduate, or they don't do good in class, don't do well, poor grammar. If they don't take college seriously and they get poor grades and they don't graduate, or for whatever reason, oh well, that money will be there for them for some other day when they actually get their act together. But I am not going to give them a silver penny or a silver spoon. They are not going to get it all handed to them on a platter. My parents did it wrong, and I'm not ashamed to admit that my parents did they did me wrong. My parents gave it all to me, and I hate it. I regret that they did it that way. My parents said, "You can go to any college you want. It's all paid for." You know. I only applied to one school, University of Michigan. I didn't want to go anywhere else. I knew I'd get in. I was so entitled. I didn't study. I didn't go to class. I didn't pay any attention. I thought it was going to be just as easy as high school. I did not do a good job. I regret everything I did, everything I learned. And again, I can't really get upset with my mom and my dad because they when you become a parent, you finally start to realize that nobody has any idea what the hell we're doing. We're all just figuring it out as we go. Who knows what my kids are going to do next week, and I'm going to have to figure out how the hell to handle it. Right? You can't... No one's born with an instruction manual sitting next to him that says, this is how you train me, this is how you teach me, this is how I get raised the right way. Parents don't know. Your parents... They're not stupid. They aren't, you know, it's wrong to think your parents are stupid. But it's true that they don't have all the answers. They don't know what they're doing. They're figuring it out as they go, just like you are. So my point is just that I don't blame my parents. I'm not upset with them. But I do think they did it wrong, and I'm going to do it different. If my parents had done it the way that I said I was just going to do it, then I think it would have gone much better for me. If I had actually had to write the checks and actually see the money that I was spending to be on that campus, I probably would have done a better job going to class and studying and taking tests and avoided, like, you know, drinking on Wednesdays and partying and this whole concept of like partying in college. Like, oh, it's your college years. You're supposed to go to college. You're supposed to get drunk. That's normal. No, it's not. That's bullshit. Don't buy into that either. It's wrong. That's wrong. Normal people don't just go to school for 4 years to get wasted 5 days a week. That's not how it works. But in many places in the United States, that's what people think. And it's not right. It's wrong. They spend tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars to go get wasted for 5 days a week and then get done with college and not have a job. It's ridiculous. Although to be fair, man, when you're in college, you've got such a good liver. Man, that liver will take a licking and keep on ticking, right? You can really kick your liver's ass in college. Not so much these days. Anyway, my point is just that I don't think that you should... What was the question again? What? Media professionals transitioning... Okay, so train of thought was... Talked about insurance, talked about how it was normal for me, talked about how you shouldn't dive in without it, talked about how you should have a plan, and then I got onto college because you should have a plan, and I have a plan. That's how I got there. Yeah, okay. Anyway, a lot of the baby boomers, people who are retiring right now, they worked. My mom, and this is where, like, I can't be upset with my mom. My mom worked. She worked a full-time job when she was at school. She had tons of classes, and she worked full-time, and she paid for it herself. And she turned out all right. I wish she had given me that. I do. Because I think she learned something in that experience. The struggles, right? You gotta let your kids have their own struggles. And you can't shelter them from too much. But... yeah, no. Now I'm defeating my own point? Damn. I'm sorry. I'm very tired. I streamed... What am I on now? 10 hours? I'm so tired. I'm ready to pass out. What did I say? How did I reverse it now? I messed up. Anyway. My parents, they would just ask me, like, are you doing well in school, son? Are you studying? Are you getting good grades? Yeah, Dad. Yeah, Mom. I am. No. when my kids go to college, I'm going to be on that website. I'm going to be checking their grades because I know that that's going to be a thing. I'm going to be looking. Oh, you want me to make your car payment? Oh, you want me to, you know, pay for this month's college? Let's see those grades. I want to see the report. All right, next question. I've got like 15 minutes in me tops, and then I am out. I cannot go much longer. I apologize for not being able to do more. There's so many questions, man. Approximately how many spoken words do you go through a day in streaming? Round to the nearest 100 words as convenient. I think that in some cases... Oh, that's fine, Autumn. I'll just employ the United States nonsense NSA patrol type stuff where I'll say, oh, sure, I don't have a warrant to look at your, what's in your phone, but if you don't unlock it, you can't cross the border. Right? Is that a good thing for the United States government to do? No, probably not. We have civil liberties for a reason. You know, we have a constitution to support. It's probably unconstitutional for them to do that. However, when it comes to your father paying for your college, the Constitution doesn't really apply so much. You want daddy to pay for college, you show daddy your grades. Simple. Very easy. It's the same rule that my dad used to say all the time, and I think is fair, is that while you live under my roof, you live under my rules. And just because you're at college doesn't mean you're not under my roof if I'm paying for the room. It's still my room. So... if you could use modules, which ones would you use in real life? Obviously, I would use productivity plus speed in beacons. Can you imagine if I had, like, productivity beacons on my computer? Sorry, productivity modules on my computer and then, like, speed beacons everywhere? It'd be awesome. I'd get so much work done. What would make you quit YouTube? If they somehow ruined the monetization methods.
It's a reoccurring circle. Every other generation wants their kids to struggle, and the next one wants them to not struggle.
That's a very interesting hypothesis. I'm looking forward to being an old man and seeing if that's true. Seeing if my son says the exact opposite of what I'm saying right now. It's entirely possible.
Your grades in academia may have been lacking, but your liver got high marks. A+.
Okay. So, what would make you quit YouTube? If it created too big of a wedge between me and my wife, then I would quit it. I've offered to before. There have been a couple times in the last few years where she really didn't want me to do it, and I told her straight up, if you really want me to stop doing this, I will quit. I will not do this anymore. And she backs down and she says no. And so, that hasn't happened in probably 2.5 years now, but in the first year or so, she was really having issues with it, because she didn't like the idea that I was just playing video games all day. She didn't think that it was right, that it was fair, that it was good, that it was a good job. She wasn't proud. She didn't want to tell anyone that that's what her husband did.
Scandinavian, no school loans.
Yep, it's another reason why I like Sweden. I recently watched all of the Big Blue Blob campaigns while I was off sick. Do you have any plans to return to that achievement? It's funny you mention that. New encoded active blob project video. I currently have 29 episodes of a new Big Blue Blob campaign that are all 20 minutes or so long. I currently have on hands 10 hours, 25 minutes, 55 seconds of Big Blue Blob. As of yet, unreleased content that I'm not sure what I'm going to do with. We'll see. Do you get lonely creating content for YouTube? It strikes me as very solitary. Surprisingly, no. I'm a generally very introverted person. Let me see if I can find it. There's a really great way to describe my interpretation for introversion. Oh man, here's an example. I'm supposed to be capturing that one. Let's go back to this then. I don't know for sure this is right, but this immediately strikes me as true. I love when it rains. It's the best type of day ever. What a beautiful day. I love it. It's not the one I'm looking for, though. The one I'm looking for is what? There's one that's important. I probably won't be able to find it because I'm looking for it specifically. No, I don't know. Can't find it. It's too much work. Can't find it. No, that's not right. The game. You can tell I'm getting tired, right? Nah, that's not right either. That's right. Okay, so... Ooh, whoa. Very tired. The comic I'm thinking of is one where it says, basically, introverted people spend energy in order to interact with other people. It costs me resources in order to interact with others. Extroverted people gain energy from interacting with other people. It's like they physically steal it from me. My wife is extroverted. Like, she's the type of person, if I said, let's go dancing, she'd be, oh, let's go dancing. It'd be great. It'd be fantastic for her. We could dance and she'd get more and more energized the longer we were there, where I would get drained and drained and drained. And so, in that example then, oh, that's actually still the wrong one now. I went back to the other one. Crap. I think I may have closed it. Oh well. We're done with those anyway, right? We're done with the questions. So, basically, to answer the question, if I remember what it was now, it was, do you ever feel lonely? No, I don't feel lonely because I actually feel more connected to people this way. I get to talk to people that I would never talk to. I get to read comments. I get to talk to people on Discord. I actually feel more connected now than I used to, even though I used to sell insurance to people for a living and talk to real people every single day. Those real people were all the exact same Betty and Joe that every other house was. Same BS introductions, same, oh, what kind of work did you do? Same, oh, that must have been hard. Tell me more about that. Oh, those are beautiful pictures of your grandkids. What grades are they in? Blah, blah, blah. I don't care, really, not really. Just buy insurance for me. Oh, I was so good. I was so good at it. I had that system down. I almost feel bad to admit it, that, I was so good at manipulating seniors into thinking that I cared about them. And I did. Sorta. I mean, I had like a genuine desire for their well-being. I wanted them to be happy and healthy, and it's not like I'd be like feel good if I heard that they were dead or that they were sick. I would obviously feel normal human sympathy. But again, at the time, I wasn't taking any medication for my ADD, and I was very robotic in my emotions. I didn't really feel much in general, so I had to fake it all.
MK3 and MK4 power armor in. Also, would you consider the nuke reactor mod?
I didn't realize that those power armors weren't already in the game. I'll have to take a look at it, fun boy. Nuclear reactor, not really. I don't really want to do that one. It's too complicated. I'll wait for 0.15 for that, I think. So... anyway, it was before the medication, and that meant that I was very robotic in the way that I felt, right? I didn't really feel emotion anyway, so I had to fake it to begin with. So, how do you get really good at selling insurance when you don't really feel any emotion for the people you're talking to? Well, you just trick them. You fake them. You fake them into thinking you care about them. I was really good at it. And even to this day, though, there are some that I did connect with that I really do still think about and care about from time to time. Yeah, the worst example, George and Marilyn. I could drive straight to their house right now if I still lived up in Michigan. I know exactly where they live. I know exactly how to get there. I know so much about them. I really cared about them. George is a retired optician. He used to do glasses. He used to make glasses for a small town. He was very good. Very good at his job. Very intelligent man. Skilled worker. Skilled in his craft. And his wife, Marilyn, is just the sweetest lady. Such a really just amazing woman. They did have a beautiful family. And when I met him, he was 80, I think. 80, almost 81. She was 80. And what it was is that she had concerns about her memory. She knew she was getting dementia. She knew it was coming.
Ever plan to switch from Windows 7 once Microsoft is going to stop supporting it soon?
Nope. Sorry, Zombie Gun. Not gonna happen. I will switch to another operating system entirely before I switch from Windows 7. To me, Windows 7 to Windows 10 is the exact same thing as Windows 7 to a Linux-based system or something. If I'm gonna learn a new system, I'm not gonna learn a Windows product. I feel like Windows is getting as bad as Facebook and the others. Windows 8 was atrocious. Windows 10, with their data leaks and their bullshit upgrade schemes, they're just as bad. I am an old man already, aren't I? Yeah, I'm turning into an old man.
I suggest trying Endless Sky to fill the hole from Spaz 2 ending.
We could try. Yeah, Jorlum. Not a bad idea. I'll take a look. So, I would, yeah, no, I don't want to switch, though. I don't want to... Microsoft is, they're just greedy. Bill Gates stepped down and stepped aside, became this billionaire amazing philanthropist. And now Microsoft is run by this board of greedy executives that are just ruining the company. I hate Windows 10. I hate Windows 8. No, I'll never change from Windows 7 to Windows 10. So to finish the thought though, and this will be the closing question / answer. So, just because I think I said some bad things, and I want to kind of like, I want to redeem myself slightly. I was really, really good at pretending to care about people. And that was one of the reasons I was really good at insurance. But I only had to pretend because I was not being treated for the mental illness that I have. And if I could do it, if I was doing it now, it'd probably be completely different. And even despite all that, I did still make some really good, real, true connections. So, anyway, I want to resume the story of George and Marilyn. DJ Duddles, thank you for your subscription. So George was a decision maker, as most men are at that age from that generation. Marilyn, however, knew she was getting dementia. She could tell it was coming, and she knew how expensive it was going to be to get treatment because she had friends that had already gone through it. They were both 80, right? So she filled out a little mailer that had been sent out by one of the companies we work for, basically saying that she wanted more information about long-term care and long-term care insurance. She wanted something to pay for it, you know? She knew she had it, and she wanted to get coverage before it was too late. She was a very smart lady. So she sent this mailer in, and I went out there, and George, being the decision maker, but also being a very smart man and a provider, it was a difficult sale. It was probably the most difficult long-term care insurance sale I've ever made. But I sold them a monstrous plan. Huge. It was the biggest long-term care sale. And that's not why they come to mind. It's not just based on the size of the sale, because actually, for the record, at their age, because of their age, I made almost nothing on the damn policy. The older they are, the less money you make. You make more money selling young people than you do older people. But because they were old, the insurance was really expensive. Call me Woof. Thank you for your subscription. I sold this couple a long-term care policy that costs about $12,500 a year. So they're paying over $1,000 a month in long-term care insurance, which is crazy. Huge amount of money. But what that policy did was 100% completely protect them from the costs of long-term care. For at-home care, in-home care, facility-based care, assisted living, nursing home, any of it, all of it, anything they could need. And why did they need such a large plan? Because they had money. Lots of it. They had over $500,000, $600,000, and they were already in their 80s. They could spend 15 grand a month for the next 10 years and still have money left over based on the rate of return they were getting off their investments, plus their static income, plus their nest egg. They were set. They were great, right? So, would you, in a position where you have over $500,000, spend $12,000, which for the record, 12,000 on $500,000 is 2.4%. Would you spend 2.4% to guarantee the security of the other 500,000? Yeah, it's a big percent. It's a lot. It is. But a lot of people pay that much on their damn stockbrokers, their advisors. Anyway, it was still a really big policy, but they were so old, right? And here's why this couple will always be in my memory, is that they bought it, they kept it. I wasn't so sure they were going to keep it, because it was a big premium, you know? But they kept it. They kept it for 3 years. And then they canceled it. And I didn't understand why. And I went out to the house, and I tried to figure out, and I tried to talk to George about it. Marilyn obviously had dementia at that point, 3 years later. It was very clear. She needed help. She needed help with her activities of daily living. She couldn't take care of herself anymore. She was having difficulty bathing herself. George was doing it. Not in a fun, sexy kind of way, but in a, she couldn't clean herself. She couldn't bathe herself. Actual, like, being in the shower was risky for her. She couldn't stand in the shower on her own because it was slippery. And so George would help her. But the really bad part to the story is that, surprisingly, George got dementia too. And he couldn't remember why he was paying so much money for his policy. So he canceled it. And then I had to spend the next year and a half until his dementia got so bad that he hated me, trying my best to keep them going. This is a couple that at one point wanted me to become their power of attorney, which is completely inappropriate for an insurance agent. But that's how much they liked me. They loved me. They wanted me to be that involved with their family. And he canceled the policy out of the blue. He wouldn't take it back. I couldn't convince him to get it back. There was a grace period. If you lose, it's called a lapse period, right? A lapse. If you lapse your policy, it's not like you just, hey, the insurance companies just say, haha, I got your money. No, they'll let you put it back. You can put it back into force if you just pay the premium, catch up on your premium. But I couldn't convince him to do it. He wouldn't take it. And then I would get phone call after phone call for weeks because his children had no idea how to help him because they were in their 40s and 50s and they were still working. They've never been through any of this. They have no friends that have been through nursing homes and at-home care. And they had no idea how to do any of this stuff. So they had no one to turn to. All their friends were either dead or in nursing homes already. And their kids couldn't help them. They were too busy with their own jobs and their own kids, their own problems. So George would call me like every week trying to get help. And you know what he really needed? A goddamn long-term care policy. That's what he really needed. You know why? Because then I could have done two things. I could have done 1 page of paperwork, and within a week, we could have had an in-home nurse out there 8 hours a day, every day, for the rest of his life. Every goddamn day out there. We could have had people out there mowing his lawn. We could have had people out there cleaning the leaves off the roof. We could have had people out there that would be pushing the snow for him. All of it. He never would have had to leave his house, ever. And instead, he didn't let me do it. He wouldn't let me help him. And it killed me. It hurt me so much because I just hated to see him degrade because this is such a powerful man at one point. Such a good provider. I mean, think about it. Think about how much work went into this guy's life. Taking care of his stay-at-home woman and putting them in such a fantastic financial position to be in your 80s and have that much money and still have a great income and be in a great position. This guy was a planner. He worked so hard. And then in the end, his mind betrayed him. And I couldn't stop him. Why did he start to hate you? He started to hate me because he thought that It's very difficult to explain. I'm not a doctor. I don't really fully understand how dementia or Alzheimer's or the different variations of it really work. All I know is that a very common side effect of dementia is that they get angry when they get confused. And they get confused often. They don't necessarily attack the right person when they're angry. They just are angry. They're frustrated that they're confused. They're frustrated that they don't understand. You try to explain something to them, and if you express even the tiniest little hint that you have tried explaining this to them already, and they can tell that you're frustrated that they don't understand, rather than admit that they have a hard time remembering things, they'll just get mad at you. So imagine me being in a position, sitting down with George, saying, George, you need to keep this policy, it's really important for these reasons, and him not understanding, and me being a little bit frustrated with him for not being able to understand why it's so important, because he's obviously got freaking dementia. He just got mad. He got paranoid. He thought I was trying to take his money. I was trying to do all kinds of bad things. He thought I was going to put him in a nursing home. And I said, George, no, George, please don't go this route. Please, George, I promise you, this is not about putting you in a nursing home. I'm trying to keep you from going into a nursing home. If you cancel your coverage, it's all coming back now. George, if you cancel your coverage, then you won't be able to stay at home because you have too much money, George. There are no assistance programs in this county that are going to come out here and provide you with coverage. They're not going to come out here to take care of you because you don't qualify for their aid. You will have to pay out of pocket. You will have to contact companies directly yourself to find assistance. And he didn't want to do that because he's too proud to admit that he needed the help. It got to the point where I actually called the company with him one time. And I just said, George, we need to call this company. Let me speak with them on your behalf. All I need you to do is just be on the phone with me, George. This is after he'd called me in the office, and I was like, George, come on, let's just call him together. Let me talk for him. I'll tell him exactly what you need. And so we do it. We call this company. First questions they have. Okay, Mr. We'll call him Smith. Do you have any issues with your activities of daily living? Dressing, eating, bathing, continence, sitting, standing, dressing, that kind of thing. Like, do you have any issues with that? And I had already prepped him. I already told him, George, it's very important that you tell them the truth. George, you need to tell them that Marilyn can't take showers on her own anymore. You need to tell them that you have fear of pushing the snow outside because you think you might fall. You need to tell them that you can't cook meals for yourself anymore because Marilyn used to cook all the dinners and she used to cook all the time and now she can't cook anymore, and you keep going to the same goddamn restaurant every single day and you can't have the same meal every single day for every single meal. And your health is going down because you keep on eating the same thing every day because it's the only thing you can know how to do. You just go to the restaurant. Every meal. You need to tell them that you can't do that, George. Tell them. Okay? And I'm trying really hard here. Not, don't be frustrated with him when you tell him that because it's not his fault. But George, you need to tell them the truth. So we get on the phone. We call this company. Do you have any assistance? Do you have any issues with the assistance, the activities of daily living? Nope. No. No, we don't have any. Do you have any trouble sitting, standing, bathing? Nope. How about Marilyn? How about your wife? Does she have any issues? No. Just want to wring his neck, punch him right in the face. You can't help him. You can't help him. It just killed me. It was so bad, so painful. Anyway, be aware. Please, be aware. I'm not saying go buy long-term care insurance right now. I'm just saying, be aware it will happen in your lifetime. Someone you care about right now, just everyone, please, just take a moment. Think of your close personal family network. Think of all of the people in your family. Let's start at the top. Think of your grandparents if they're living. Think of your uncles. Think of your aunts. Think of your brothers, your sisters. Think of your parents, of course. Think of your close family friends, your parents' best friends, your parents, anyone that comes to your barbecues, anyone that comes to your family holidays, anyone that comes to your Christmases or your 4th of July parties or whatever. Think of these people and picture them in your minds right now, how healthy and strong they are. And I just want you to recognize that at least 50% of those people are going to spend some time in a nursing home. Okay? 50%! Half of those people are going to get to the point where they can't do these things on their own. And just try, if you can, mentally prepare yourself for that. That you're going to need to either have the money to pay for it, be able to do it yourself, or have insurance for it. But don't walk into it just thinking everything's going to be fine. It's not going to be fine. I have long-term care insurance. You should have long-term care insurance. Do you realize that if you buy long-term care insurance when you're in your 20s, it's like $30 a month? It's so freaking cheap. Sure, the chances of me needing long-term care right now are nothing. I could. Got into a car accident in November or December last year. No one was injured. But what if I had become a quadriplegic? What if all of a sudden my wife had to take care of me for the rest of my life and I was unable to walk and I needed assistance with my activities of daily living? Doesn't it make sense to get it now when it's cheap? Elena Starbreeze, yes, the premiums do go up. Unfortunately, they always do. The way that long-term care insurance is sold, at least, it's sold in blocks, and huge blocks of business. Not just like one policy or 10 policies, but like tens and tens of thousands of policies are all lumped together into a block of business sold under a policy category. And understand that when rates go up, rates aren't going up because the insurance company just wants to, you know, take a little extra out of you, mess with you a bit. The way that rates are increased, it is on a state-to-state basis, of course, the way that the laws all work. But the way that it works in the state that I was trained in is that if the insurance company wants to raise rates, they have to petition the insurance board for the state, and they have to basically get approval from the state to do it. They have to show, here's the premiums we brought in, here's the money we paid out in claims. We have to be within what's called a profit corridor, and they have to make within a certain amount of money. If they make too much, then they actually have to lower the premiums, and that does happen. Or it's very rare, but it does happen. If they make too little, then they have just cause to raise rates, and assuming that the state approves, then they can raise their rates. So understand that if you are to buy a policy today and it's cheap, and then 10 years from now your rate goes up by 30%, surprise, surprise, that's because the costs have gone up and people are using it. Does that mean you should cancel the policy? No, that means you should damn well keep it, because guess what? If you were to buy that same policy today, like, 10 years from now, it'd be way more than that. You're locked in still in a lower class risk because you're with a group of younger people on average than the people who are buying it right now, right? Like, people who buy it when they're in their 20s or 30s are healthier than the people who buy it in their 50s and 60s. Wouldn't you rather be part of a block of business that's generally speaking younger and healthier, or was when they bought it? Do not cancel policies like that. No, yes, they will go up in price. I will not tell you that they're not going to go up. They will get more expensive over time. Yes. But is it going to be less money than it could cost? Do you realize that today it costs anywhere from this is 4 years ago for me now, but it was $6,000 to $8,000 a month to be in a nursing home? $200 to $250 a day. Easy. At-home care is by far the cheapest method, which is why I wish George had kept that goddamn policy, because he never had to go to a nursing home. All he needed was a little bit of help around the house. He would have been able to take care of his wife till he died. At-home care is way cheaper. It's way cheaper to bring out a nurse for a few hours than it is to live in an at-home care facility or a nursing home 24 hours a day with an on-call nurse 24 hours a day. It's a serious issue. Well, thank you, Raptor. Appreciate that. So anyway, I went into the whole insurance thing not because I wanted to talk about insurance, really. I don't want to sell insurance. But I do believe in it. I do believe in getting rid of risk. Taking a large group of people and offloading the risk on any individual onto a large group of people is a very smart thing to do. Oh yeah, there's over 60 million people turning 65 right now. Baby boomers are huge. It's the largest age group of any existing age group in the United States. There's 60 plus million people that are turning 65 right now. If you need a job, by the way, going back to that college discussion we had a little while ago, you want to know for sure that you have a job that's going to be in demand? Go learn to be a nurse. Go learn to be an at-home care specialist. Go learn how to stick a needle in someone's arm. Do anything related to healthcare. I promise you, there will be a job, and it will pay well, because there's not going to be enough people doing it. But be aware, please do be aware that it is not an easy job. It takes a special kind of person to be able to do that on a daily basis, to actually be able to take care of people and deal. Okay, you saw how upset I was just now. I mean, I wasn't crying or anything, but like I was getting mad just thinking about George again because I couldn't help him, and it drove me nuts. Imagine dealing with Georges every single day. Imagine with every single person you talk to, not everyone, but like most of them. Imagine how many Georges you would go through if you dealt with people with Alzheimer's. I'm crossing my fingers. I am really hoping that by the time I get to that age, we've figured it out. And honestly, I hope by then we've quit football. Football will be gone because we realize that's stupid. But all the dumb football players who got all those concussions over and over again will have taught us how Alzheimer's works, and maybe they'll cure it for us. That'd be great. Right? To try to make it a little bit lighter. See if I can rile up the crowd a little bit with it when it comes to the the people who are upset about football. But still, I mean, like, I just really hope that we do find a cure for it, because it is the worst thing to take away someone's essence, to take away their mind. Raptor, by the way, I saw you just subscribed now as well. Thank you. Arumba's right. Check the statistics. Nursing and any job in the medical field is growing. Oh yeah, and also the income will go up for it too. It's going to continue. There's just too many. You're welcome, William. Monty is in chat. He must have just said something because people are sending messages at him. I don't have him like flagged as a special color. I'm way over my time. I'm so tired now.
You tried to help and you're still trying to help now. There should be more people like that.
Thanks. I appreciate you saying that. It doesn't affect the fact that they spent all of their money. And everything that he worked his entire life for is gone now. And all the dignity that he was trying to protect by not telling people that he needed help was taken from him. As his mind slowly betrayed him. I hate that. One of the main reasons why I don't want to go back to insurance is that I had been in it for nearly 7 years, and the first few years are okay. You don't make a lot of money the first couple years because you have no idea what you're doing. Years like 3 through 5, those are the sweet spot if you're actually good at what you do, because you're making great money, really good money. And you know what you're doing, you feel confident. The problem is that in years like 5, 6, and 7, people start to die. All those people that you met that were really healthy and were eligible for coverage when you first met them, they don't stay that way, and they start to get sick, and then they die, and then I don't want to go back to that. I really don't want to deal with more Georges. And he's just one example. He's probably the most direct example where I felt responsible for long-term care. There was another example, though. I could give you another one briefly. God damn it, it's 11:20. I'll give you one more example, and then I really gotta go. I promise. I gotta go. Life insurance. I'm not gonna sell you life insurance, I promise, okay? I'm just saying. I met a couple, and this guy told me that he had life insurance that also paid for long-term care. And I said, oh, that's interesting. Okay, that's cool. Do you mind if I see the policy? Let me take a look at it with you. And he got out the policy, and I said, okay, that's cool. Let's look at it. We went through the policy, and one of the things you get really good at in the insurance business is reading other companies' contracts and deciphering what all the jargon means. So this guy had a $400,000 term policy. It was 10 or 20, I can't remember now, 10 or 20 year term. He was probably like 56, 57 at the time. Not very good health. Very, very poor health. Term coverage. Not smart to have long-term care coverage as part of a term life insurance policy, because guess what? Term is temporary. And when you get to the end of the term, you lose your insurance. So right about the time that your health goes bad, you lose your insurance, and then you can't get any more insurance because you're not healthy. Weird. Also turns out that he was completely wrong, 100%, and that he didn't actually have long-term care insurance. He had basically a provision in his policy that would allow him to claim his death benefit. Here's why that was horrible. Number one, he was paying about $1,500 a year in extra cost of insurance, which means his premium was way higher than it should have been to have that. It was actually technically a universal life policy set to function as term with a period of 10 years, which means that it was building cash value, but the cash value was being eaten into too fast to support the policy for more than the number of years. So it was just a bullshit policy that some shitty agent had sold him. Someone who either didn't know what he was doing or he just did it on purpose to lie, basically. So the way that the way that this long-term care rider worked on his policy was that he could draw the death benefit out in the event that he was confined to a nursing home. Here's why that was a really stupid idea, is that if you do that, then you actually have to claim the money as income. Yeah, so your $400,000 in death benefit, which is tax-free, 100% of which goes to your beneficiaries, now every dollar you take out is considered income, and you have to pay not only income tax on it, but also you're going to just turn around and spend it on the long-term care.
Arumba.
Well, thank you. Hi, Morgan Aras, I can't say your name, Araskane. Anyway, long story short, I showed him how it was wrong, and I showed him that he should have two separate policies. You should have long-term care, yes, but you should have life insurance. The long-term care should be permanent because you're going to need it when you get to be 60, 70, 80, not just the next 5 years. And the life insurance is way more expensive than it should be, and we can give you a better policy with our company. So I replaced both policies. And this is another bad memory for me, because this was when I learned just how important it can be to return calls as fast as you possibly can. This is my learning moment. This guy called me during an office day. I think it was during an office day, yeah. We were in the office 2 days a week, in the field 3 days a week. And he called me during an office day and left me a message. I didn't get the message until at the end of the day, because during office days, we're supposed to make phone calls. We're supposed to work. And so I wasn't able to actually call him back. And so I didn't. And that made him really, really mad. And so he canceled his policy. He didn't want to work with me anymore because he thought that I wasn't going to take care of him, that I wasn't going to do everything I promised him, and that I wasn't there for him. So he canceled his coverage. And then a couple months later, he turned around and died. As it turns out, he was pretty sick. And guess what he didn't do? I replaced his coverage with better policies. By every definition. Better coverage. But I didn't take good care of him. I didn't go see him. I didn't respond to his phone call right away. I didn't call him back fast enough. So he didn't want to work with me and he canceled his coverage. And because people don't think about life insurance until it's sometimes too late, they think they'll take care of it next week, next month, next whatever. He canceled his coverage with me, didn't reinstate the old policy, didn't contact any other agents, didn't get any insurance, and then he died. And even though it's not my fault, because I did sell him a good policy, and I did try to call him back, it still is my fault in some ways. Because if it weren't for me, he would have still had that other shitty policy. And even though that shitty policy was shitty, it would have paid a $400,000 death benefit to that wife. She didn't get any. Not because of my fault completely, but in some ways, kinda. Anyway, so there's some shitty memories for you. It doesn't matter, the Crossbones Gamer. I know I couldn't answer his call because I wasn't allowed to. It doesn't matter. I still feel responsible. I should have been better. Somehow I should have been there. I should have called him on my lunch break. I should have done something. I don't know. Because that was his only complaint. He loved the policies that I sold him. He loved the coverage. I had a great relationship with him. But anyway, long story short, I don't want to go back to insurance because there's some really bad stuff that happens once you've been in the business for a while. People start to die and get sick, and people you care about that you once saw healthy, they get sick, and it's bad. It's not good. Wow. Some Army veterans get PTSD from war zones. Arumba tends to get his from his insurance job. Nothing fun in here. Nothing fun in here, but it shows story of good insurance agent life. Wow. Yeah. Anyway, apparently we got to do this again in a week, William, because it'll be my 4th year anniversary. Thanks. Everyone blame William. Hashtag blame William. It's fine. I hope you guys saw value. I hope you benefited from this in some way. Either by learning a little bit more about me because you got a question answered that you wanted to see answered, or you just learned something about me you didn't know. Or maybe you're going to actually go and buy some life insurance or something tomorrow and you're going to take care of your family. Or maybe you're going to start setting some money aside for college and make sure that you don't spoil your kids and give them the benefit of their struggles. Or maybe none of that'll happen and you just thought it was a fun show. I don't know. Or maybe you think I'm depressive and I'm too tired to be streaming and I shouldn't stream when I'm this tired. And you're probably right. I think that's true. I can barely keep my eyes open right now. And here I was thinking maybe we'd just do this for an hour or two and then play some Ryukyu. No, I'm so tired. Can't do it. I'm exhausted. Although, for the record, I do still have the game open. I'm just saying, we could play. It's here. We could. We could look around. We could play. We could play. Just a few years. Just a couple. No. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. No. I was just kidding. It was a joke. I can't do it. I'm too tired. I'll probably play on my own time. I'll play by myself. All right. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks for coming to the stream. Thanks for asking the questions. Hopefully, if I said anything that offended you, maybe rewatch it and consider what I said in the context that it was said. You know, I didn't really, aside from some of the fun comments I made about football and basketball being silly, I was trying to piss people off there because I think it's fun. But I wasn't honestly trying to make anyone upset or offend anyone. So, and I did swear a little bit more this stream than I normally do, and I blame Filthy for that, and William. I always blame William. But no, I actually do blame Filthy. I really like Filthy Robot. He's a lot of fun, and I like working with him. But he tends to swear more than I normally do, and it's rubbed off on me a little bit. So I'm going to try to break that habit while he's out on vacation. But yeah. This stream, will be live on YouTube. So if you missed any part of it, if you're just now tuning in and you hear me doing my sign off here and you're like, oh no, I wanted to be here, but I missed it. The whole thing in its entirety will be on YouTube. So don't worry. It'll be uploaded I'll upload it overnight and I'll release it tomorrow. So you'll have it. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know when the next one's going to be. Maybe, if you really wanted to, William, or any of the other moderators, we could do a 4-year AMA. We could do a 250k subscriber AMA. We've got all kinds of excuses to do these. Or we could just play Ryukyu. Let's play Ryukyu. I want to play Ryukyu. We might play Ryukyu tomorrow. Maybe not the whole day, but some. I want to take a moment here to thank everyone who subscribed today, either during the Ryukyu stream or during the actual AMAA. Everyone who's cheered, everyone who's donated, everyone who's a patron, or if you're just a viewer, thank you for being a viewer. Thanks for being here. You guys are letting me live my dream right now, and it means a ton to me. So And I'm pretty sure my wife and kids are pretty appreciative of it too. So they have your thanks. It's pretty amazing what we're doing right now, and it's all thanks to you. And beyond that, I also want to thank the moderators. In particular, William. Yes, William. Yes, you. But also Prime Dead, Cannon Fodder, Blue Sonic, Dude Meister, Hendrick, Lambert, Blue Sturk, Cannon Fodder. I think I already said Cannon Fodder. You get mentioned twice. Any of you that I missed, I didn't mean to miss you. Zippy, I is a Monkey, all of you. Thank you guys for being part of Discord, part of the moderation team, part of everything we're doing right now. And especially thanks for helping me put together the AMA, perusing the questions, making sure that we had some good ones that were not censored, that's the wrong word, but like, you know, validated. Data validation, right? Gotta make sure we had good stuff. Thank you guys. And I'm gonna go pass out. But I'll be back tomorrow to stream some more, so I mean, I might. I don't know. Depends. Okay. I'm gonna go play Ryukyu. No, I'm not. I'm gonna go to bed. Okay, go. I gotta go. It's already 11:30. Crap. Okay, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you on the next video, next stream, /next AMA, whatever, wherever, somewhere. Twitter, Discord. Bye.